I don't think we're going to get to 10. It's just not in the cards tonight. That's okay. I'll talk to you guys for a few minutes. And I'll go outside and see if I can catch me a sunset. Oh, that sounded kind of lame. I wish I hadn't said that. Show is comment driven, so if there's no comments, then there won't be much of a show. I know a lot of people don't show up until like an hour in for whatever reason. I think that once I get tired that I get better. But I don't. That's not true. I don't get better later. I'll just address whatever few comments we have, and then I'll probably be out. Nobody's here. Hurts not to have people on the internet viewing me with adulation. People just have come to take it for granted is what it is. That's okay. Marine's Blood wants to convert the number of viewers to metric by doubling it and adding 30. Then you'll have enough. That's how you could tell the inherent fallacy of the metric system. That's just made up. Hey, David. Hey, Marine's Blood. Hey, Chase. I have just said hi to everyone, every single person that is here. Andrew, sorry, you're a person to me as well. Is it really the hockey? I swear to God, it better not be the hockey that I'm losing to. Who cares? Is it the Stanley Cup Finals or something? Hockey has the longest season. The championship's pointless because they play hockey all year round. What's the point? You get to the end, and you're like, oh, you're technically the champions, and then everyone has a week off, and then we're playing again next week. Edmonton Oilers. Oh boy, Who else do we got? Anybody else? Just those three guys? Pretty lame. This is liable to not even be saved, Drew. I'm probably just going to delete it. Yeah, it's just Chase David Marine's Blood. Sorry, guys. All right. Well, no one's even talking to me. Must be a damn good hockey game. Have anything fun happen to me? Thank you, Chase, for trying. Did I have anything fun happen? I try not to talk about my cases at work. Not that I had any fun ones. There was kind of a call that was sort of aggravating, but I don't know if it really makes for good discussion because it's like if you're not in the job, you can't fully appreciate it, I suppose. That and I just, trying not to complicate my relationship with my job and my podcasting life. So other than that, no, mowing. If you guys hadn't figured it out, anybody that knows what's going on with the podcast, then some people have been asking me about what's going on, but I guess I felt like it was pretty clear. Nobody here is talking about that for whatever reason. I expected to be fielding a lot of questions about that, but I guess nobody really cares about that one. You could talk about aliens and how Men in Black are actually documentaries. Men in Black are documentaries. There's a book by John Keel called The Mothman Prophecies, which got turned into a movie that was about the Mothman. And it sounds like a stupid name for a movie, and it sounds like a stupid name for a book. But and it's purported to have some measure of journalistic integrity. I read the book and I was kind of surprised that I didn't like it. But in the book, John Keel talks a great deal about the Men in Black. And when you read about it, it's very confusing. And I think the Men in Black, if they're real, intentionally behave that way. So that when you tell people about your encounters with the Men in Black, they don't make sense. I think that's in the movies. But the way that they do it in the movies, like with Will Smith, is just... it kind of makes it silly, in my opinion. They do a lot of cartoonish violence in that. Like there's scenes where they defy gravity and kick and stuff, and it's silly. Those movies are silly. They should do like a real Men in Black movie with like Denzel Washington. You know what I mean? You were setting the alarms. That's love. You sent me a message a little bit ago, and I have no idea what it meant. Although all I know is that it had a word in it that I would never use. And then I was like, you wanted to know if you could use some like part of the show or something. I didn't really understand it. Jen, what's your thoughts on that the moon is an alien base? I don't think it's an alien base. Dewey is leaving. Dewey is already gone. Dewey's left. He'll be back though. That's the thing about Dewey is that Dewey's not gone forever. Dewey has had a well, I won't go into it, but everybody just keep him in mind. Tragic. Yeah, Detzlov he does not want to hear David's stuff again. It's funny. It's funny seeing you guys fight. David, not your stupid shit again. Love it. What's going on with the show? Not this show. Nothing's changing with this show other than Dewey will come back at some point. That will be a change when Dewey comes back. Also, I think Men in Black and corporations people are trying to recover private property. Do you guys think I'm like Alex Jones, or is this like George Norrie Coast to Coast? I don't know what you guys think the show is. I'm actually not that into aliens. I know that this here suggests that I really am. I just really like the X-Files. And I've gone on the record to say that I believe in UFOs, but not aliens. I've said that multiple times. Will Cray, did we ever get you figured out? Did you ever figure out your thing? You're just popping in to say hi. You don't care. Dewey's a boomerang. Dewey has done a lot of work for us, and I think I could speak for Drew when I say that without Dewey, we would not have been able to successfully launch this show in our first 6 months without him. Because work that he's done is still paying off even in his absence. So, without Dewey, we would be far behind where we are now. So Dewey will be welcome back to the table when he can. I think that's an Alex Jones reference. I didn't say I'm into aliens. I don't want y'all looking into aliens. We won't look into it. This is not the alien show. I am not George Norrie. I'm not Alex Jones. UFOs are man-made according to the DoD. David, there was an episode of Night Shift that I co-hosted. It was actually my first one. I did it probably, it was well over a year ago because I was on my old set. And it was my first show with Andrea, and we talked about aliens. And I went into this wonderful, wonderful long monologue about what aliens are and what they mean and how the DoD is involved. And you could see Andrea's eyes glazing over because she doesn't like aliens. And like, well, why did we choose aliens, Andrea? You know? And I did that whole show. So if you really want to know what I think, I feel like I covered it. So there you go. It is. You're quite the Alex Jones connoisseur. Again, I'm only vaguely aware of it. I've seen memes of him crying, I guess, because he has to pay a lot of money. Maybe AJ could switch to the comms center. Who's AJ? Oh, Alex Jones. Why? Why do you guys keep bringing him up? What do you guys think the show is? How have I given you the impression over the years that I'm an Alex Jones connoisseur or that I care about any of that nonsense? I'm going to take that poster down. It's an awesome poster. I'm going to take it down. I don't know what I'll replace it with. Probably just a big black area. I just got the notification for the after show, so maybe they are late because of that. Maybe. Because when I launched the after show, there were literally 3 people here. And so if other people don't show up soon, the show's going to fall flat, which would be my first after show failure. And I understand. It's depending on where you are. Like if you're here or anywhere west of here, then there's still sunset to watch and apparently hockey as well. Oh, David, are you trying to get a discharge? Are you like hoping that your commanding officer sees this and gives you a Section 8 or whatever it's called? I was really going to count on more people to be here because I don't have any media. So, I mean, I could dig through Dewey's channel. We're going to go through the mail to see if your $17 came through the mail. I know. Honestly, it would have been better for me to just send you cash. Sad that it cost that much. But yeah, it should be at the place that you told me to send it to. So finally coming through for you after a year. All right. For some reason, nobody's here, and I don't know why. Is it because of the picture I used? Is it because the thumbnail was a little self-ingratiating? Do people see that and like, wow, John really thinks highly of himself? Honestly, I just forgot to do the thumbnail. I had all day to do the thumbnail, and I didn't do it. So I literally came down here not that long ago, and I'm like, well, I'll just take a nice picture of me and make one. It's not that you're not nobody. I love you all. Tanner, Marine's Blood, Chase, David. I love all four of you. I can't, and the show works best, and you all have seen it, and Detzlov. You all have seen it when there's tons of comments and I can barely keep up. That's for a good show. Stop it, Tanner. Everybody stop it. All right. You're not nobody. It works best when there's lots of comments for me to read through and catch up on. You guys don't like it when I get far behind, but that's what generates the entire content for me. I love you, Chase. I love you, Tanner. I love you, Marine's Blood. I love you, David J. I love you, Detzloff and Mendak Mencarry. I love you, Drew. I love you, the Comm Center. All of us love each other, but we're not a commercially viable product, just the small number of us. Where's Abby? Yeah, Abby's always like, oh, I'm a number one fan. And where's Salamander? Where's Falk Narrator? There's literally no girls here at all. Where's Las Mujeres? Where's she at? Where's Salt Spreader? That's a guy, but yes, Drew. I know you love me. You're legally required to. We signed a contract. John, don't you ever see me love me again? That's coming from you. You know, it's really not that creepy. It's only creepy if you make it that way. For those of you guys that know me, I joke a lot, but I also managed to be one of the most sincere and wholesome people that you know, right? Yeah, no girls allowed. Well, Tanner probably has his wife watching, but she doesn't ever say anything. Or she just poking around in the background doing something else, telling you to get off the internet. Yeah. So we can have men to men talk. Well, men, what shall we talk about? Should we have our secret man conversations now that there's no girls here? Finally. None of those pesky women ruining things. So we should have a real talk about what's going on with real men. All right. I'm going to wait just a few more minutes, then I'm going to call it a night. You're trusting the judgment of someone who's mentally ill, John? You're not mentally ill. You're trying to do it. I've seen you interact in other places, and you don't do this thing with the upside down question marks, and all of this is like some kind of put on. It's a damn good one, but I've seen through it. Show the meme I sent you, and well, that's on my phone. I guess I have time. Was it a meme or was it a reel? Oh, I can't show that, Tanner. YouTube has an algorithm that if you show that, the show will just turn off. Yeah, anything like that, the show turns off. Someone else sent me a meme that looked like this one, and I was like, well, it's too bad I won't be able to show that one because even if I like right now, if I picked up a weapon and showed it to you on camera, the algorithm would know and turn it off. Salamander, we were just mentioning how there's no girls here. Patty Jones lurking. Hey, Patty, just spent all day with me at work. I want to see Patty with you here lurking. Does it show? Yeah, it shows you there. Okay. So we get Tanner, Salamander, Patty, Marine's Blood, David, Detzloff, and Chase. Patty, I was telling earlier today, how weird is it that I have fans? I'm not saying you guys aren't my fans, but it's weird to have fans as a regular, normal person who's not a big deal. But then I said to Patty, well, I've only got like 12. So like, that's pretty commensurate. Like sometimes like you've seen those memes where it's like, oh, damn baby, I just can't say how good you look or whatever, but numbers can, 6 out of 10, If we're actually going to measure a man's worth by how many fans he can actually generate when trying, then yeah, about 7 people would probably, not even anyone who's like a close friend who knows me, no family, no loved ones in the chats. So other than the people I've obviously already professed love to. So that's yeah, if you're actually going to measure my worth by fans, then this is about it. So, and Tanner, uh, that brings your meme back to mind. Oh, won't be long without any comments though. Let's see. Let me catch up on comments. He's a new aged corporal clinger. Yep, Drew got the reference. I use Castilian everywhere. Sometimes when I'm rushed, I skip them. Yeah, but why do you do that? What are you doing? Maybe more specifically, what do you think you're doing? Because you're not doing it. It was a meme I made. I know. I would have to blur it out because I have a copy and paste the damned grin. Better not use that word. I would prefer you not to. This is really especially like harsh word. Here goes the men talk. Still, it's inexcusable. Now John doesn't love you. I love you all the same. One time I was talking to my boss. This was at Target. This was a long time ago. And I was just feeling kind of down on myself, as I often do. But I was just asking for just like professional feedback. And I was like, do you like the way that I do this? Because the other guy that does the job does this. And I think I was annoying him. But he like pushes back from his computer. He's like, I love you both the same. It was just a really funny moment. I don't want my family in my chat. Bad enough I have a Papa Carrie in once for an interview. Yeah. I don't know what that means. Detzlav, whatever it is you're trying to convey to the world. So, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. And how you say things is very confusing. And I don't know what I'm supposed to be getting from you. Don't send me the link. I'm not going to click on your link. All right. Just because all you guys are here, I could play something from maybe Dewey's channel or something. Maybe do a nice thing. I looked through my own YouTube. I have a lot of content in there, but a lot of it is just stuff that would have to be edited or prepped for the show, just so that it would make sense. Right now, it's showing 8 participants in the chats, but 11 people are watching. So some people are watching but not chatting. I will say to those people who are watching and not chatting, the show is chat driven. So without some more chats, it'll be hard to keep going. We've had like what was my longest one, Drew? It was like 4 hours. I went till 1 in the morning once, I think, right? Something like that. I went really late once. Thanks for contributing some coffee to Comm Center. Okay. I like that you set hard and fast lines. This will be the end of me ever asking anything about you ever again, though. Hey, Tyler, good that you're here. Thank you for hopping in the chats. If you're just watching, I appreciate you just watching. Oh, there's Felony Melanie. You're late as fuck. Yeah. Felony, did you realize that I need 10 people to launch this show? And I made a compromise. I launched it with just 3 people. And I said, well, this show, I'm just going to do it for a few minutes to say goodnight. Well, luckily, I guess some people figured it out. What is this here? Is he shrugging? I can't see what those are. The computer's so far away. I'm worried it's something terrible. You're not the only one, Phony Melanie. Should we just maybe go to the phones? Is anybody actually interested in calling me? I don't know. Maybe. I'll put my number on the screen, I guess. How does one do that? Oh yeah, my show Hard Time. That'll be a new episode that we're recording and dropping tomorrow. So watch that. Coffee Break course is on Monday. Coffee Break somehow is outpacing Aftershow right now in terms of interaction, which is shocking to me. I guess see the morning show Coffee Break is really for the people that are up in the morning, and this is for the night owls. I'm literally doing 2 different shifts, just like at work. I'm literally doing working all over the place to cover everyone. There's the old phone number. Pretty sure that I'm patched in. Let me just open the application. I'm pretty sure it would ring through anyway, but okay. Put on headphones if you want to. You can call me if you want, because you're paying for that level of interaction, or at least Tanner is. Tanner, you shouldn't send me any money, because then I feel bad. Because it's like you're just refunding me for the postage. You know, you love Coffee Break. I'm always at work, but I still listen. I know. Felony, how are you? Good to see you here. Salamander, are you still here? I don't know. Well, Felony missed John confessing his love for 4 men. If you get caught up. Oh yeah. What did we talk about on? Was it last week? We talked about how the over sexualization of culture ruins things. We literally talked about that on this show. And now you guys are all like, oh, John's gay. When first of all, you were all mad saying, oh, I guess we're nobody to you. Y'all stress me out. The price of fame. Let's watch old YouTube videos like salad fingers. Fuck. I mean, that's free. I might as well, right? We only get the old number, not the new one. What's the new one? If you want to call 848-CALM 911, that's 848-CALM 911. You will get the official number for the show, and you can leave a voicemail. But if I was going to set that up, I would need like an extra computer or something. There's always the way that it gets done is like it's to this day it kind of eludes me. I've never been able to set that up on my own. I think maybe I did it one time. That's true. You send money to Comm Center, and this is extremely true. You send money to Comm Center, and this is just a joke. This is stand up true. But that money all just goes into a bank account. It's just in a bank account somewhere, probably offshore. Then Drew's going to take our $110 and disappear. And then what's funny is that he will still be in the red. That's why he has to disappear, is because the show's bankrupt. Tanner sends money to the rest of us. Feel bad. Good thing I left feelings at home. You know, I'm worth something. Maybe you should just pay me exactly what I'm worth, because $2.99 Canadian might be it. We were talking about that before you got here, Tyler. Like, if you measure a man's worth by the number of fans he has when he actually tries to get fans, and I come out with like 6, that's an accurate number for how much I'm worth, right? Like, anyway, I won't go through it all again. Most of you guys heard it. John, Felony Money says, John, you and I spoke about how I prefer you and Drew because you speak intelligently and not penis jokes every 5 seconds. I suppose that was pretty hyperbolic. Felony, you are stinging away there. You have turned so turncoat this week with the changes that you've made in your life and the decisions that you're making. All right. Everyone here's so macho. Nobody here's feelings. Oh, I'm tough. I ain't got any feelings. I ain't got any feelings. Everybody has feelings. Whatever. Bet on women's college field hockey with the YouTube money and parlay it into something life-changing. I suppose because there's not a lot of women betting on that, I guess you can make some good money. I'm not here to play some sort of like nonsensical conversion game that can't even be done, Tanner. Stop it. Everyone stop it. Nobody's dead inside. I always thought of a man's worth being how many people attended his funeral. Kind of dark, I know. No, I believe it was The Frank Capra film, It's a Wonderful Life, says no man is poor if he has friends. Same basic idea. Drew, I almost spit out my drink. That was good. What did Drew say? I didn't get it. That's the problem. It's a hockey-related joke, so I can't understand it. Stop it. Everyone has feelings. All of you guys, the ones who are like, what are feelings? You guys are all the ones feeling the most because you're hiding it. Hate and malcontent are feelings. Yes, those are feelings. Why are we having therapy? Is this why you guys like me? Because you all see yourselves as dead inside and you see me as dead inside because I constantly comment on how I'm dead inside? Yesterday, my boss was leaving work and he made some comment. And I remember, he's leaving for the other day. And I'm just like, every day I wake up wishing I hadn't. All right. Everyone's so tough and dead inside. No reason to go on. Cry a lot. Still dead inside. Yeah. All right, fine. We're going to have therapy. Who wants to share tonight? Who did something brave this week? Since this is now group therapy. Who did something brave? Does anyone want to speak? Remember, others can gain strength from your sharing. It's about to be salad fingers. Nobody has anything. No one wants to call me. No one wants to view the show. Let's see how many people are here. We got 14. Still only about, including me and Drew, or not including us, 7 people in the chat. All-time low. Yeah, Marines, you know what? You're not a Marine anymore, though. Oh. Them some fighting words, right? Apparently, it's a mean-spirited night with everyone saying how they're dead inside. I'm just saying. All right, I'm going to go to Dewey's page because if I don't find some media to entertain you with, you guys are going to drop like flies because I don't know how I'm maintaining you guys as it is because it's not much to go on here. So bear with me while I find something for y'all to watch. And you can call me if you want. My phone's still on. The Savannah Bananas are playing right now. They're playing the Firefighters in Nashville, Tennessee. Is that what you guys are all watching? I wonder. Let me just find the correct channels. Make sure I'm not going to the wrong channel. I think I'm going to the wrong one again. No, this is the right one. Let me just look and see what I could find for you. See if I could find you a good one. Some of these are really bad, but I can't tell. No, not that one. What are you guys in the mood for? Something good? Something bad? Something well done, maybe? You want to watch Dewey? Dewey. They're combined now. That's what happened to Dewey. He was combined into Drew. Him playing a drum cover. It's just him playing the drums, though. So, here's some blooper reels, some unboxing stuff, short films. Piece of cake. I wonder if I showed that one. I think I did. I think I showed that one. Best book ever. Oh, that was actually a commercial that he actually made for someone. So I don't think I should show an actual commercial. Last Man on Earth. That was a pretty good one, I thought. That one's got almost 200,000 views. So somehow Dewey has almost 200,000 views on this. And so maybe you guys will appreciate this. And if you don't appreciate it, then that'll be the end of old me. I'll bring it up here. It'll take just a minute. And we'll have it on the screen for you. All right. I'll take any last second comments before I play this. Oh, Loren showed up. Well, that's nice. Felony Money sent me some money. Let me go back and catch up. Or on the Money John helps to know that I'm not the only one. I found a missing person that's been missing for a week today. That's a hell of a story. Did they want to go missing, Tanner? It's too bad you can't call in with that story. I bet that revealing those details would be bad for you. We talked about that. John out for blood. Felony Melanie paid us $5 for her therapy copay. Thank you. Those are actual fighting words, John, even though I'm not that brave and I really am slightly mentally ill. Okay. What did I say to you? I don't even know. Nothing that was meant since I don't remember it later. Damn, Felony, that's like 100,000 Canadian dollars. Lauren's out driving, listening. Lauren, are you enjoying this so far? This has to be the most mind-numbing thing I've produced a lot of podcasts. I've been podcasting for a year and a half. And some of it has been just cheap filler and slumming it. And this has to be near the bottom. But thank you for joining us, Lauren. I appreciate it. Loosely paying attention to the Panthers and the Oilers. Okay, yeah. Hunt for Red December. Patty has seen Hunt for Red December. All right, Patty, since I know it takes great courage for you to speak up in front of other people, just because it's just not your thing, I will play Dewey's first, and then I will play The Hunt for Red December. You will viewers choice tonight. So we play Dewey's first, and then you'll get Hunt for Red December. All right, then mood for meat pizza with pineapple. Thanks for the Dana story. Yeah, you guys got a picture of my dog today. Speaking of well done, had a guy in the Boy Scouts that made the mistake of asking for his cooking opinion. And even though it was dark, he said it wasn't done without looking at it. Oh yeah, Patty will tell you if she wants to. If she wants to speak up in the chat, she once asked me how I can cook such a perfect steak, and I told her that I can hear it cooking. So that's a thing. If Patty wanted to attest to that, since she's here, she could. The grilled cheese sandwich ended up basically charcoal, and he ate it. Oh, he was cooking grilled cheese. Well, yeah, no, you shouldn't do that. Tyler says the bravest thing I've done all week was change my son's diaper with no pee-pee cover. Craziest is what I do every day: lean on the edge of buildings, put metal on. What do you do, Tyler? You do siding, or am I just guessing there? Or I'm not a heights guy, so that sounds pretty brave to me. You very much enjoy listening to my rambles. I'm just going to say thank you. It was a nice thing to say. I took on a hay baler on fire by myself this week and got to cancel mutual aid. Wow, good job, man. That must have felt good when you get on the radio and you're like, hey, I got it. I took care of it. Stand down, everybody. The one true fireman has arrived. Roofing, siding. I couldn't do it. I'm tall enough. Can't get up on a ladder. All right. So let me present the screen of the thing that I'm doing with the thing. Last Man on Earth. Dewey's video, which somehow, not to be rude to Dewey, but somehow has gotten almost 200,000 views. I mean, that's not nothing, folks.
How you doing? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joshua. Happy birthday to you. Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. To you and your kids.
All right, so that was interesting. Appreciate the comments on that. Some of you have some funny comments. FBI open up ATF. ATF has some mission drift if all of a sudden they're interested in. I mean, I guess your suspect pretty much is like the last guy. I mean, but interesting. He's a creative guy. Very smart. I thought it was one of the most interesting things about that is that first of all, those are his actual family videos. So he is sharing a little bit of himself there, putting that on the screen, which is not something I would be willing to do. But all those shots, I believe, were taken of him outside, desolate landscape. Those were in a major city. If I'm not mistaken, those were in Memphis, Tennessee, major city. How is it getting pictures of a bridge and the streets of Memphis with no people on them? You know what I mean? So confusing. Good video. Patty also made a very specific request to hunt for Red December, which is a totally different kind of video. So hold on one second while I find that for you. It'll take just a minute for me to go through my content, find a link to that. And then finding the link, I will then be able to do the things that you want me to do. So give me 1 second. The Hunt for Red December was actually one video that I saw today, and I was like, oh, I could play Hunt for Red December. And I decided not to do that. It's on a different account. Hold on 1 second. One thing that's interesting is that I started streaming my failure to stop content to my own YouTube with Eric's blessing. And no one is watching there. So it's like, why am I doing that? I'm not sure. But you can watch anything I make on my own YouTube page if you want. Drew, food for thought. Okay, here it is. Hunt for Red December. Get shareable link. So this will be a pretty palate cleansing. This will be a totally different thing for you here. You'll notice that this was in a slightly different aspect ratio, interestingly, because it was made at a different time. It was made a long, long time ago. I'll tell you that. Okay, so go ahead and I'll share this. This was made, first of all, it took many years to make because I started making it and then I stopped making it. And then I started making it again because I don't like leaving some things unfinished. So I'm going to do my best to share this for you. This one's not nearly as long.
On a snowy Christmas night not too long ago, John and Casey did their gangster patrol in a frosty forest of ice and snow. When suddenly they happened upon a terrible sight. A cuddly Christmas bear had been caged up, chilly and afraid, all through the night. Golly, John, a woodland creature is in need.
Gosh, Casey, let's get him free.
Thank you.
Christmas bear, who did this to you?
Such an awful thing. And on Christmas, too.
It was the mean old Christmas queen. She lives on the hill near the deep ravine.
Let's go find out what this is about.
And let her know we let the Christmas bear out. And so they went to find the queen, to find out why she was so mean. And as they went, they found something quite gay. Another bear was found stuck that way.
Thank you.
And another.
Thank you.
And one more made four.
Thank you. Thank you.
We must find out what these trappings are all about.
The Christmas queen can't do this. She hasn't the clout.
She lives up the road, just past the curve.
Let's go, Christmas bear. She's got some nerve. Now John grew slight worried. He wasn't quite sure, but soon realized he'd been here before. An ambush! What do we do? Of the 4 bears, she's now killed 2.
Don't worry, Casey. I'm sure we can reason. After all, it's the Christmas season.
John! She fucking shot them! Check your clock. It's time to get even.
Christmas queen! Why are you fighting these bears? All they do is love and share.
Bates?
Homer?
You know the evil Christmas queen?
Well, I wouldn't say she's a queen, really.
Were you guys talking in rhyme?
Yeah.
Why'd you shoot these guys?
Because they're Al Qaeda, see?
So John and Casey turned to see, and what they saw they could not believe. The bears were really doing fun. What? They were killing Americans. They were Khalid and Habib.
Merry Christmas, everyone!
A hearty mixture of America's most aged tobaccos, these cigarettes are assembled by the smallest and youngest hands that the law allows, Virginia Slims. The best cigarette ever made. Blow the smoke in a woman's face and she'll follow you anywhere. Virginia Slims.
So that was that. Damn it, Patty. I just remembered. We're probably going to get a copyright strike for Burl Ives' song. Calling it Discount Robot Chicken hurts my feelings because I made this and it took me a long time and I spent almost no money. Anyway. Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Some of you liked it. Some of you didn't. So the story of that is that this is actually a sequel. This is the second claymation that we've done. And I wrote this sequel during a 2-hour session of rec in which I was out in the rec yard of the prison by myself. So I had time alone under the hot sun to think. And on my little notepad that I carried in my breast pocket for writing down like inmates and rule violations and just anything I need to keep track of, I wrote out the entire script and I made it rhyme. My favorite part is John says, Bates says, don't worry, Casey. I'm sure we can reason. After all, it's the Christmas season. And Casey says, John, she fucking shot them. Check your clock. It's time to get even. That was like the first time I was clever. That was a long time ago. I've only done it like twice since then. This is freaking awesome. Why have I never seen this? Why is this not family tradition? Oh, you mean like every Christmas? Because it's on my private YouTube page. Bootleg, to be fair. That's true. And this kind of has that bootleg quality. Took him 48 years to make it. It took a long time. The other one went faster. It was shorter and it was more. I won't say anything about the other one. That was a great home video. I got to go. Have a good night, all. Goodbye, Tanner. Would you be willing to share some drawings? April's joining late, so good evening, all. Would you want me to share some drawings? I could share some drawings. It will take a minute to curate if you want to see some drawings, I guess. Most of my drawings actually wind up on Instagram. They wind up on my personal Instagram, which I actually don't share with a lot of people. So some of you are. April, unfortunately, you just missed me showing a video from Dewey, and you missed me showing a claymation I made. So if you wanted to, you could catch up on that later. We launched the show, April, with almost nobody here, 3 people here, and I'm like, well, this will be a pity show, pity for me and pity for the audience. I didn't expect it to go this long. Sorry your phone keeps buffering. Give me a minute to upload some photos, so that will take a little bit of time. I'll find some pictures. I don't know if I have any that you guys haven't seen, though. I tend to post stuff. That said, maybe there's some ones in here that people haven't seen. Oh, I have so many. You know what I'll do? I wonder if there's any oh, some of these are in file types I can't share. Oh. Let me see if I can open up. See that I wish I had known this. I wouldn't have tried to do this on the fly. Okay. I'm going to save this to the desktop so I can find it easier. I don't know if anyone's seen this one or not. Couldn't say. Don't know. All right. So what you just saw was a claymation of me and Casey as we were actually Target security guards in that claymation. I know it's hard to tell. But there's a drawing of us as those same Target security guards. We're clearly at Target there. Casey, in our videos that we made, he actually always uses nunchucks as his preferred sidearm. So there's a picture of me and a picture of him. I don't know if you like that or not. Let me see what else I could find. I have so many folders here. I really need to put this together. So here is a picture of me and Casey again, but this time it's an homage to the Rockford Files. Maybe Drew gets that picture where I am playing Jim Rockford. In this one, Becker, there played by Casey, is telling me to let this one go, Jimbo. Here's an interesting one. I did this. This is half of a drawing. I wonder if I could find the other half. But this is me appearing on the cover of Failure to Stop's original artwork in that same style. But obviously, Mike and Eric are not pictured here. But that's me. At some point, I had inserted myself so that I was also on that. Maybe I could find the whole thing, and then if I see it, I'll present that to you. Here is a nice Spider-Man sketch. He's climbing up the outside of a skyscraper. It's done in the style of John Romita Jr. He's one of my favorite artists. Here is a me appearing as Jim Gordon attempting to summon the Batman. So I don't know if you like that or not. Maybe you do not like that. I went through this kick a year or 2 years ago where I was fascinated with the idea, but just me as Spider-Man, where I'm constantly smoking, so the mask is always pulled up. So I kind of went through a self-portrait phase, which sounds vain, but when you're an artist, if you can't draw yourself, you can't draw anybody. So here's another picture, kind of incomplete, of me smoking, but also as a Spider-Man. Oh, what else do we got? Some of these are very hard to see. I'm going to try to make them extra large icons so I can actually see what I'm looking at here. I shared that one. Here is Spider-Man in a searchlight. I don't know why I'm leaving him on the screen for you, like you're going to screenshot him or something. So it's him kind of landing on a ledge, and then there's a small spotlight on him. It's kind of a take on a lot of Batman stuff because Batman's usually being the one being shown in a spotlight. What else do we got? Here's one of my ones. You guys know that I'm a big fan of Bruce Timm. The one who created Batman the Animated Series. So I often like drawing Batman in his style. There's one of my Batmen, but it's in Bruce Timm style. My picture of Drew is actually in Bruce Timm style, as you can no doubt tell anyone. Here's a picture of Casey. This is that same guy that was in the video with me, but here's a still from as if I was going to do a comic of one of the videos that we were in. So he's looking at his phone. Oh, John, where are you, buddy? It's really hard to understand that without context. Here's another one. Me driving a police car with lights and sirens on, but because I'm a security guard, the lights are amber colored. It would be illegal for me to drive it with red and blues. So I'm driving my security vehicle as fast as I possibly can. No beard there, that picture, because that was a different time. Here's another one of me and Casey from that same era, kind of that same video, but it's we're discussing a case. It's just a quick little warm-up sketch. Here, I drew a villain from, if you watch the intro to the original 1966 Batman intro, there's it shows at one point a bunch of villains crossing the screen, and there's this guy. And I just thought, this is the scariest looking villain on the screen, but he's not a legit Batman villain. This guy with a K-bar and this weird white hood. So I drew this and I thought, well, that's just an interesting looking villain. And they show him, he briefly pans across the screen. It's he's part of Batman's rogues gallery, but if he has any basis in the comics whatsoever. I couldn't tell you what that is. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. Who catches the Batman? You can see here Batman very clearly falling to his death from a very great height. And I posted this with the riddle. Riddle me this, Batman, in a town that's so small there's just one there. Who amongst them cuts the barber's hair? You know, it's kind of a riddler's riddle. Also, a couple years ago, I went through, there was one summer where I thought that the 1963 Jack Kirby Iron Man was the coolest Iron Man because it was kind of like boxy and kind of had this Iron Giant feel. And I thought that if you actually built an Iron Man costume, it would not look like the later Avengers movies. It would look like this. And then like it's just being in like a pneumatic electric ass kicking machine, that would kind of be like a simplified Iron Man would be the coolest way to go about that. I thought that was cool. You guys have probably seen this one on my Instagram. Again, I don't know what's on there or not, but this is a picture of Venom, just kind of a minimalist, pointy teeth, big tongue. Who doesn't love that? What else? Here's a bad guy from that series that we did, the video series that we did that you guys have never seen. You can see he clearly had a fall from grace. It's a real life person, by the way. His name's Justin Meyer. What else do we got? Running into a lot of pictures here that I don't think I'm allowed to release, just because they may or may not be in a forthcoming thing of artwork. I don't know. Here's some generalized drawings. Okay, so here's another one of me doing that whole smoking bit that I told you about. I did like 100 of these. This one I thought was the coolest, but my beard's weird in that one. But if you think about it, it makes sense because like my beard would be like under the mask all day, so it would be like weirdly effed up. I don't know. More Jack Kirby Iron Man. This is kind of like one of my first ones. You could see here, it's actually made out of Post-its taped together. A lot of my artwork is on Post-its. If you wanted to call it artwork, maybe that's a little too generous. Maybe I shouldn't call it that. Here's another one where I'm looking just a little bit too sad. But if you think about it, Spider-Man's life does suck. So if you had his life, you would be constantly depressed. Here's a cool one I did. I did this while I was having a fucking terrible day at work. I was just drawing with my pencil and I was like really stressed out. A lot of shit was happening. And then at the end, I got to this. And I know like angularly, it's not the most interesting, but this is a Daredevil in profile with nunchucks. And I just thought that was interesting or well done. I don't know. I like it. Not everyone has to. You guys can all say my drawings suck, by the way. I'm not here to impress anybody. I'm just me. I can't say that I'm impressive or anything. Here, and then I'll get to your comments here in a little bit. As a Batman, I did it just in kind of my own looser style, but you can still see the Bruce Timm kind of motif there with the Batman symbol and the way his belt is a bunch of more utilitarian style pouches. Batman's utility belt is drawn and stylized in a lot of different ways over the years, and that's kind of the one that I like the most. Just kind of the simple one. Here's a picture of me as a correctional officer. This is literally what I looked like when I wrote that video. This is me looking out at the rec yard with my toothpick. Better double up, boys. Double up under them showers. Yeah, me without a beard is not a good look. This one's turned sideways, but you can crank your head 90 degrees to the side if you want. But there's this is a Spider-Man. So I drew this, but it's in the style of Eric. Oh, I'm forgetting his name. This is like a famous cover, this exact pose. So I drew this, but I wouldn't call this exactly an original piece of art because this is a cover from Eric. Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. He drew a lot of Spider-Man in the 90s. He came right after Todd McFarlane. He did a lot of really cool Spider-Man artwork. Very influential to me when I was starting to read comics. So I drew that, but I would never sell that or anything just because it's like, I was copying one of my favorite artists. So here's one I drew. I drew this. I guess I could tell you this now. I don't think I used to mention this, but I used to work until last year, until I became the producer of Failure to Stop. I used to work at Volunteers of America. And I worked there with guys that had adults with disabilities. And I was essentially their dad. I fed them. I gave them their meds. I drove them to work. I reminded them to shower. I was their friend, talked to them about their struggles, helped them find work. Whatever it is they needed them to do, I pretty much supported them. Well, a lot of these guys are pretty much into Pokemon. And so one day we were especially bored, and I started doing commissions for the guys down there. So here's a collection of a bunch of Pokemon that some of the guys were into. And I don't have these anymore. I gave the originals to the guys, and they literally put them up on their fridges at their homes, which was very sweet. So I drew this for one guy there that, these guys, a lot of them are in kind of a state of arrested development where, through no fault of their own, they just don't really grow up. And so even though they're grown men, this is kind of the stuff that they're into. But when I was a kid, I was into it too. I was kind of almost right at that age. So there's some of those. Let me see if I could throw up a few more. For those of you who are into that, maybe you are aware of that. And these are just sketches, by the way. These are just things I was doing that I would just sit down with them while they were coloring or whatever, and I would do these and give these to them. So I was coloring with them. So there you got Squirtle or whoever it is, the little turtle character. What else do we got? Oh, I think I scrolled past it. Oh, where are they at? Oh, okay. And then there's this one. I don't know if you guys like these ones or not. But again, I did give these originals away. I'm sure you guys are like, oh, I definitely want that one. I'm sure you don't give a shit about those. Any of them, really. But those I don't have anymore for sure. Because I just went ahead and gave them to the guys. Here's a picture of one of the guys. I don't mind sharing this because it's not a photo of him and you won't be able to learn anything about him. But he wanted a portrait of himself. So he's a Drew Brees fan, not to be confused with Drew Breezy, but that's a picture of him. And he thought it was really cool that I could draw a picture of him. And I just drew it on a scrap piece of paper. But I just went ahead and drew that. And I think he even kept that, even though it was just, to me, it was just a little throwaway artwork, but he enjoyed that. There was once a picture I drew up on the whiteboard, and they left it there for years. There was a picture of Spider-Man I drew up on their whiteboard that they where they write like what groceries they need. I went back to that house years later and it was still there. Like they loved it so much that they just kept it. And it was so cool because it's like they think it's really nice, and I don't think it's any kind of big deal, but to them, it was a very big deal that I drew those things. So I'll share just a couple more and be done. Here is a picture of me if I was in Star Trek 2. Wearing kind of that big puffy field jacket they wear in Star Trek 2. If you guys don't, I look a little too hipsterish there. I don't really like that one. I look more like Dewey than I do like me. Here's another Batman villain / anti-hero, the Red Hood. If you know who that is, then you know. If you don't know, then you don't know who that is, which is okay. I will share just a couple more because we're getting to the point where it's a little self-indulgent here. Here's, again, me as Spider-Man. Obviously, I don't have any powers. I get very hot in the costume, so I wear the sleeves rolled up. And I've got BDUs on because I have shit to carry. I have to carry weapons with me. Like when I drew pictures of me as Spider-Man, I'm constantly just. At one point, there's this one. If I see it, I'll post it. But the Green Goblin is flying down at me, and I'm like, and I say to somebody's next to me, "Well, I'm going to go shoot this motherfucker," and I'm like, just getting ready to just blast him. very unsuperheroic. I don't know if you've seen this one or not. This one is same style where it's kind of I took a still from a video I was in and I kind of did a drawing based off of it. So it's not really original, but it's kind of a stylized version of me looking kind of morose. Here's one of me in the movie Independence Day. I'm getting ready to fight in the last part of Independence Day to be killed. My pilot helmet is a Dallas Cowboys helmet. Because all these guys, like in Top Gun and all this, they all have these like their own unique helmets and all this. And I figured that's what mine would look like. This is one I posted that drew attention from someone that wanted me to do a book for them. It's like me as a realistic Captain America, but with a beard. And you can see I've got the airborne patch on my left shoulder because I figured Captain America. And he also has the captain insignia on his face mask instead of an A because I think A is stupid. But there he is as a captain in the U.S. Army. All right, one last one. Okay. Even though there are a bunch of these I'm seeing here, and this was maybe a good idea. This is a, well, hopefully the whole thing's here. If it's not, then I just won't show anything. And we'll go to your comments. This, it doesn't show the whole thing. But I made because I'm undefeated in Monopoly, I made my own $500 bill that has my face on it. And when I won at Monopoly, I totally took away someone's will to ever play Monopoly ever again. Like I destroyed them. I destroyed their morale. And so what I did was I printed out a bunch of those and I put them into his Monopoly board. And if he ever gets the courage to ever again play Monopoly, when he pulls out those 500s, that is what he will see. He will see my face on every $500 bill. All right. A lot of these, yeah. One last one. And then I'll get to your comments because there's 51 comments. Me and Casey playing disc golf. He's actually the one that taught me how to play that. So this is us out on the 8th hole confronting a medium plover, a haughty medium plover that is there to wreak havoc on our lives. All right, your comments. Try to go all the way up to where people stopped telling me to get it together. All right. Cement jump boots. All right. Wow, the chat froze. I wondered where everyone went. Oh, shit. Sorry if you guys had problems. Why always with the fake smoking? Because I'm not very cool. I need help. I need help. I'm not very cool. I'm constantly ready to go at any time. But I can't. I don't know how. You guys see how unnatural this is for me? Like I look cool, but then like you could just tell that it's not natural for me. So I don't know. Don't you know this about me already? Why are you asking? You already know. I'm sure I've explained that to you 100 times. Lauren, I drew all of those. For better or for worse. You like the Gordon one. You like the Jim Gordon one where I'm summoning the Batman. Do you dream of being a smoker? Salamander, you already know. We've already heard my whole diatribe on that. You draw these digitally, like on iPad or something? Sometimes, like if you look on my Instagram today, I drew a picture of Wolverine. That one was completely digital. I did that while I was at work today. Well, between phone calls, I just sketched out Wolverine. Some of them I do them on pencil and then I scan them or take a picture of them, and then I use that as kind of a rough sketch, and then I'll go over them with colors like that. If you look at my Instagram stories, which you could find me at Difficult to Look at Pictures, I posted a picture of Batman Beyond last night. It's probably still there, but that's an old pencil drawing that I never colored. And then last night, while I couldn't fall asleep, I went over it with colors. So I colored it black and red. But it had only existed as a pencil sketch until last night when I finally colored it like 3 years later. These are great. Should have a John's art channel in the Discord. We don't have a Discord. There's no Discord here. Cobb Center doesn't have a Discord. Or on the Facebook so I can see them. Well, Marine's Blood, I actually got on the Facebook at one point and said, hey, I'm clearing out my hard drive. I'm getting rid of a lot of my old pictures. If anybody wants any of these, please send me a DM. Do you know how many DMs I got? Not a one. Nobody wanted one, which is okay. You guys ever notice that I tend to yell a lot? Nice pick tire. Thank you, Falk. These are amazing. John, do you like Hitchcock? Yes, I do. One of my very favorite films of all time is Rear Window. I also like Vertigo, North by Northwest, Psycho. How can you not like Psycho? I like Hitchcock very much. I love Batman. I showed a couple of those. John seems like a Hitchcock guy. April knows. Well, there's a wheelchair up in that window. Sorry for that James Stewart impression. Awful. Art with John. But yeah, that's how desperate we got. Marine's Blood left because he thought it was so awful. All right. Walk around and find out. Tyler, you guys are... I'm a fan of the Batman. Can I pay you to do a drawing? Unfortunately, Lauren, right now commissions are closed. I've talked about this a few times. People will pay me. People, first of all, will ask for a commission, and then they have no idea what I'm worth. I'm like, what are you looking to spend? They're like, I don't know. You tell me. And I'm like, $50. And they're like, oh, no, not that. I'm like, $5? And they'll go, no. And I'm like, and then so like some of these commissions, I'm like, well, I'll do it for you for free because you're a fan of me or Failure Stop or whatever. I even like, and I'm not mad, but like I printed out this huge drawing, custom commission drawing I did of Connor Bernard. I think his name is Bernard. He plays for a red team with like the Fighting Sioux, I think, or fighting somebody. I don't know. There's an Indian on it that I had to draw. He's a young guy. He's a young hockey player. Very popular guy. This was recently, like since Christmas. I did a full-size commission. I printed this out on a huge poster board, full color, digital drawing, printed it out, sent it to the guy. I did this. His friend commissioned me to send it to him. Didn't get a thank you. I didn't get paid. I didn't get reimbursed for shipping. I didn't get reimbursed for the cost of printing, and I didn't even get a thank you. So I think that was what closed commissions for me. I still do things every once in a while. Like I sent Mike Dutcher a mug with my drawing on it. So that, Lauren, unfortunately, I realized it just wasn't worth my time. I mean, if people don't care, like right now, where is that drawing? Did the guy hang it up in his house? He didn't send a picture of me, like displaying it prominently or saying thank you, or I signed it. I even sent him some artwork with Tansy on it because I thought he was a Failure to Stop fan. Nothing. Heard nothing from the guy. And I really went out of my way, to be honest with you. I don't live in a place that prints things. I have to drive to go pick up stuff from the print shop and then mail it myself. And then I was out hours of time and a bunch of dollars, and it broke my spirit. And when you don't feel, when someone actually reaches out to you and commissions you, it makes you feel good. You're like, wow, I'm in demand. Somebody wants me. Like I've turned a corner. Like my art's in demand. And then you don't even get a thank you. It's like, and what, I'm not sensitive about it. Like I don't like lie around thinking about how this guy didn't even say thank you. But for me, I'm just like, well, that was a waste of time and I'm not going to do that anymore. So if you want to print something yourself, that's another question, Lauren. If you see something that I've already made and you want a copy of it, we could work that out. Do you ever draw your pets, John? No, I need to though, because one of my dogs is getting long in the tooth and I need to have a drawing of her before she goes. Call my youngest Charizard. Yeah, you do. That makes sense. That's cute. I screenshot the Pokemon so I could show my youngest daughter. She loves Pokemon. Well, okay. Tyler, I don't have the originals. Like I said, those are long gone. But if, and those are just photos taken with my phone. But, if I have something, if I have any other pictures or something, maybe I can send you those and maybe you can make some kind of use out of them. I don't know. John, these are incredible, and I know it's hard to appreciate your own work, but shut the fuck up. Oh, okay. Ouch. Thank you. We appreciate your artwork. Thank you. Jason Todd. Will Craig understood that who the Red Hood is. We must have the Cowboys helmet. Must have the Cowboys helmet. The one that I drew where I'm getting ready to fly away and fight the aliens. Oh, yeah. What do we got here? Chiefs fan? Hawkeyes fan? Bears fan? Packers fan? Get out of here. America's team. Evil, cruel. I like it, John. I don't know which one you meant. Pick a side of the mouth, not the middle. No one smokes out of the middle. Yeah, but I got to light it in the middle and then. April, you were cool when you smoked. Rear Window is my number one movie ever. It's up there. It is up there. I watch it every summer. I would have saved every single pick. That's very nice. I have somehow won you back. If you like my pictures, a lot of them are on Instagram. They're on there. They're just there. Like I post. There's a Wolverine I posted earlier today. I'll since people like what I just did there, and it was somewhat self-congratulatory or something, or I don't know. It was asked for. I'll upload a picture that I did today. It needs some work. It's not done, but I did it while I was at work. And so I think in many ways this is like as good as it can get when I'm busy doing things at work. But I drew this today, and so I'll just throw it up there. I have to upload it from my phone. 1 second. But this one's not even in color. I didn't even have a chance to color it before it was time to get off duty. Haha, I said duty. But this was drawn today. So there's Wolverine with a Zippo lighter. Look at that salamander. He's got the cigarette on the side of his mouth. That one actually looks like it has some errors on it. It looks like he's got some schmutz on his lip. I should probably clean that up. The drawing could use some work. It's a rough sketch. I'm learning how to draw people in natural poses, rather than like things like this. Like admittedly, this is like a, I don't know if you could see that on my right hand, my middle finger is extended. And so this is like a fighting pose, but I'm trying to figure out like more natural ways to like here, like what am I doing with my hand? What am I doing? Back to the comments. Where were we at? Okay. I want you pictures. Here is your non-DM DM. I'll give you $100. There's some motivation. Thank you for saying that you will give me some money. My truck was Batman themed in that I named it Alfred and the plate was Pennyworth until I changed it up. The commission stuff, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, Foxy, you got some stuff for me, so it's not so bad. I sent you some printed out artwork, right? I sent that stuff to you a year ago. Hopefully you haven't lost it. I'm babysitting, so this is riveting evening for me. I hope you're having a good time. I don't know. Do bears all the way. Da bears, okay. Chase, did you ever I wonder if I have that picture. There's a picture of me wearing a Jay Cutler jersey that I bought as a joke. I wonder if I have that somewhere. It'd be too hard to find. Wouldn't it? Maybe. I'll look for it. The reason I picked up a Bears jersey is because I actually went out to Green Bay, and I wanted to bother the Packers fans, so I wore a Jay Cutler jersey the whole time. And interesting to say the least. Here it is. I found it. That's great. Let me see if I can actually upload that. I don't know where I am now. There's so much going on here. But just proof. Let me see if I can upload that. Maybe you don't even care. I don't know what I'm doing. Just killing time. Yeah, no, I can't find it. I have a lot of files, guys. Here's not the one I wanted to share, but it is one. I guess that's proof enough, right? But what I also bought it because I was going around Halloween, is that I was Jay Cutler for Halloween. You can see me smoking there. Out of the side, Salamander. That's there in my Jay Cutler jersey. I was a little bit thinner back then, too. Back to the Jets. At least it's not Green Bay. There you go. At least I'm not a bandwagon, that's for sure. Yeah, no one's a bandwagon Bears fan. Being a Bears fan's a punishment from God. The ass on that one is supreme. What? What ass? I'll show you an ass. I love having your artwork on my dresser. I'm glad you like it. The perfect place for that jersey is in the trash. Falk, I have a place reserved for Dana's fur, a shadow box reserved, but Last John has not delivered. April, you missed the following week where I said I've got all these strips of Dana's fur, and I showed the dog. Very sad. The Spider-Man in the BDUs. There's no butt in that picture. I would never draw my own butt. First of all, you can't draw something that doesn't exist. Yeah, those are just legs. There's not even a butt there. I'm sure that butt's not accurate. I do not have a butt. Don't even. Drew's going to be mad if he logs in and sees all these dumb pictures in here. I'll start deleting them while I talk to you, I guess. Oh my gosh, how many did I show? Holy Moses, I showed like 40 of them. What a needlessly self-indulgent time. But I did it for felony, Melanie, right? So there's your Gordon, someone that said they like that. And yeah. So now I'm just going through and deleting them, which you guys don't probably even need to be here for. I should end the show. Still out of context. It is great. You have them. You having them is not the same as me having them. You know what? You're right. It's not the same. Send me a DM, I guess. I'll work it out. Hopefully it won't cost me $17 to send to you like it did the patches to send to Tanner. Will Cray, probably one of only, he's not the only one here, but he's one of a few people in the chats who have seen my butt. Not like naked or anything, but just in real life, he's seen me. I know man ass. Don't argue with me. Well, I don't have one. Okay. So why are my headphones on? Nobody called. When I was born, it's just my back, my spine, and my back, and then just legs. There's nothing there. I have to wear special prescription orthotic pants, and the fastenings for that, like the belt system, if I put it on in the wrong order, I could get hurt. Okay, so this is not a joke to me. I have special pants that I wear in that order. And every time I'm seen in public, people notice me. For shipping. Jesus. So every time I'm in public, and thank you. every time I'm in public, I'll go into a restaurant, right, and I have no ass, and then I'll go and meet a friend, which is unusual as well. But I'll sit down at the table, and when I do this, there's an audible gasp from somewhere in the restaurant because no one thought that I would even be able to do that. So I'll sit down and you hear, or wow, or something, because they all just assume that there's no bend to me. Thank you, April, for sending me $20, which I don't even know what to say. All I can tell you is that Dana's really going to be sad about it. Come here, Dana. Come earn your $20. Special orthotic pants. Yeah. Welcome back. Thank you for that, April. It was really nice. I don't know what that means. Do I want to know? Probably not. Maybe last chance for phone calls, I guess. Anybody want to give John an old jingle? Has anyone called and I just missed it? You guys just think I'm a jerk? Sometimes, like, we talked about this, like, doesn't always ring. No one has called me since Wednesday. And even then I don't. Oh, that was me calling out. Yeah, no one has called me. I'm just going through and deleting more of these photos so Drew doesn't get pissed that they're all, not that he would get mad, but here's one more. I'll throw that up so you have something else to look at. That's kind of like the main artwork that I did for the show well over a year ago. Oh God, we got Will Craig calling. And kind of optimized. Hello? Oh.
Now press 2.
Hello, Will.
Hello, John.
Hello. Did you get
Hey, I have a
did you
question
get
for
your
you.
financial situation worked out?
What financial situation?
I'll take that as a no. What's on your mind?
I had a question for you.
Shoot.
Is your refrigerator running?
If it is, I better chase after it, right?
Well, yeah.
Thank you for telling a joke from 1950. Jesus, Will, are you drunk?
No.
You just missed David's jokes? Is that what the deal is? Stepping on David's
I
territory.
wasn't here. I was on a phone call.
No, but David's the one that calls in
Oh.
with the shitty jokes.
Well, there's also Jake who does that too. On Hard Time.
Yes. Are you enjoying your twice a week episodes?
No, I only watch once a week.
Yeah.
Way to call me out, buddy. That's not nice.
I don't know. I tried to play it cool at the beginning of this phone call, and you did not understand what I meant. So
No, I knew what you meant. I'm just digging my own grave. You know what I mean?
I don't know why.
It's fun.
So how have you been this week?
Terrible.
Do you want to talk about it, or do you just want empathy from me?
No, it's just work's been not fun.
Work?
But I did go to the gym.
Yeah.
I had fun at the gym.
Did you?
I lifted heavy things
How much are you
and then
bench
put them back
pressing now?
down.
How
I haven't done push day yet, so I have no idea. I'm still at that like 225 range. I'm kind of holding it there.
Yeah, you're
Just for
plateauing.
effect.
I am also plateauing because
Well,
my
no.
calories are restricted.
Oh, yeah, don't do that. Or do. Depends on what you're doing.
The problem is that I feel like I need to lose
don't know
weight,
what
but I'm
you're-
also trying to gain it. So I have confusing plans.
I'm going to be honest with you. Since I started working out, I haven't really lost a pound.
Well, why would you if you're trying to gain weight?
I mean, I'm not trying to gain weight. I'm wanting to lose weight, but I'm just going to the gym.
Well, you
And
still
all my fat is turned into muscle.
well, you still need to work on your macros and your calorie intake and all that. You know all that stuff. Well, you're built like a fire plug. You didn't get that way from not knowing what you're doing.
A fire plug? You mean a fire hydrant?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm at like 200 grams of protein a day.
That's pretty good.
So yeah, I've been doing that.
I mostly just do that because I like protein.
I mean, protein does taste pretty good because it's usually like meat and things like that.
All right. Well, anything else on your mind tonight?
No,
Okay.
not really.
Will you
I
be
just
safe?
wanted to call because you were complaining about
I'm
not
not-
getting called.
I'm not complaining. I just, I try to be here for my fans, and you're one of my good fans, Will, and one of my good buddies, and I need to get back up there, and we need to go to Tacos Del Kevin or whatever.
There's a bunch of good taco places around here. So, yeah. All right.
All right, my
I'm gonna
man.
pop out of here.
All right. Well, I love you.
Smell you later. I love you too.
Smell you later, Will.
Smell you later.
Goodbye. Oh, Will. That little guy. What do you say? So this is what happens when you search for it in Brave. April. She's telling me I need to get something with a glass. Am I going to see something gross here? Oh, she's able to hold a something here. She's able to hold something with her butt, I guess. This is what you guys are trying to take a GoFundMe to get me one of these. I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like it. Yeah. Please don't. I would rather die than have one of those. I would fight the surgeons. For the end of old John. Oh, what am I missing out on? April, yeah, does not. Again, she's mad at me because I don't know who that is. They're stealing fire hydrants in L.A. Las Mujeres, you always have a reference. You're like, Pennsylvania's going through a hard time. Washington's having typical problems with something reform. They're stealing fire hydrants in LA. You're just like the news. You should just get on here and just update us on the goings on. LA uses wet hydrant. How is that even possible, though? Yeah. And if it's not a wet hydrant, what else would it be? I don't even know. Cast iron. Well, they're probably the same way people steal ATMs, I would guess. They throw a chain around it, hook it to a drivetrain of a big vehicle, and drag it away. Maybe make multiple attempts since the LAPD is not doing anything about it. With a wrench, yes. One of those big, gigantic, comical wrenches. You just unbolt them. Yeah, maybe you just take a tire iron and do it very, very slowly or something. Why do people have time for that? On the other hand, I'm doing this. So, I mean, maybe that's just what they do instead of podcasting. I showed 2 videos and like 40 pieces of quote unquote art. I took a call from Will Cray. Those are usually the things that I have to do. You guys have any other suggestions for how we might spend this evening together? Or should I just go? Or Thank you to Tanner for spending $2.79 Canadian on me. Melanie for therapy copay. April for shipping. Again, am I driving it to you? Is that why it costs $20? Is that what that is? $5 for my artwork. And just to mention to Loren, who said that he would give me $100. I guess DM me depending on how serious you are. I could some of these things I don't really care about. I could take them or leave them. What I could do is I could send you a high resolution file, which would be this. I would email you a link to my Google Drive. And then you could print that out however you wanted. If you wanted to take it down to Walgreens, which is what I like to do, they have a perfectly fine print shop, or down at Walmart Printing or FedEx office or wherever it is you like. You can, Lewis Drug, CVS, I don't know. You get to go in there with that file or send it to them online. You can upload many of these things online and have them printed out and just go pick it up at the store when you're there. And you can have a piece of artwork. And it's not signed by me. I guess I could sign it in the picture if that meant anything to you, which I doubt that it would. But then you could have that. So if you guys do want like artwork from me, like, $5 for a file or something, we could set up something like that if you were really serious. But the thing is all I would ask is that if you are serious to the point where you would want to just buy files from me to print, like if you felt like that wouldn't be a ripoff, just recognize I'm not going to send anything without that money first, because, I wasted a lot of my time trying to do things doing nice things for people who don't care. I don't know. I have no idea. This is not a question for me. Wet barrel hydrants have water all the way up to the top. Dry barrel ones, the valve is below the ground. There's so much about firefighting I don't know about. Can you read me a bedtime story until I fall asleep? Yes, I will maybe look for my blog and see if I have an old story to read you. I think I did that for you once. But didn't you just wake up? You said you were late because you just woke up. I'm sending you back to sleep now? $20 might get you enough gas to get that pick to the post office and mail it out. My post office is closer than you think. I live in a town without stoplights in it. I'd be happy to report on the news. Well, last week we had Tanner on. If you want me to send you a link and you can come on the show, as long as you don't make it into a huge disaster. Goodbye, Foxy. Bye. Does John have an email for us chatty Cathys to bother him? Yes, I do. Which one do you want me to give them, Drew? I'll just give you mine. Because if you send me stuff and I find you annoying, I will just hit delete. There's how you may reach the real me. Oops, I scrolled up too far. So I'll leave that up while she's writing it down or something. My phone is about to die. Much love. Good night, Foxy says. Lost my hair says, nighty night, bro. Will says, I'm guessing one of the two people in here have actually used a hydrant in here before. Yeah, Will's probably one of those. And Will's also one of the few people who have seen me in person. So, Will, you've seen a fire hydrant and my backside. So you're the most experienced person here. Congratulations. Salamander says, I was so tired I passed out mid-com center and woke up as the after show was coming on. You missed a hell of a show. That was part 3, part 1. Next week will be part 3, part 2. Chase is sorry for the random fire-related info. You do not need to be sorry. I like to learn. It's great to learn because knowledge is power. Detzlav says, disasters are fun, but he says it in Castilian, which means he uses a crazy upside-down exclamation in the beginning. I'm going to baby reindeer you. I don't know what that means, and I am terrified. Can I just say that? That I am terrified? I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means. I don't know what that means. That's scary. I'm only capable of performance disasters. Oh, coming on the show and causing a disaster. I got you. That's how you can email me if you want. Here's a fun fact. If you do subscribe to the Hard Time podcast, and if you're not a cheapskate like Will, and you subscribe, it's only $4.99 a month, which Will probably spends more than that on eggs per day. You get 2 episodes every week. There's a Monday show. There's a Friday show of Hard Time, America's #1 jail-related podcast with fewer than 100 followers. And then on Wednesday, there's all kinds of bonus content dropping this month. That was stuff that used to be on the Patreon last year when I had originally started being creative with my audio presentations, essentially reading a lot of stories in which I die, which maybe I'll read one tonight. I put all those on Patreon because that was just a place I could put them, and actually in front of an audience for the first time. But I didn't control Patreon, and I didn't like giving my creative control, turning it over to Josh. Not because there's any kind of beef with me and Josh. Josh is my friend, but it's like, I would have to try to get in touch with him, tell him to post things, and it's like, well, if Josh is having a medical emergency, if Josh is out having a procedure, if Josh is visiting his family, if Josh is having an important thing for his wife who's trying to do the immigration process, or his wife's mom, or whatever, it's like, it was just a huge hassle. I was emailing him and texting him all the time, like, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? And it's like, that poor guy needs to he needed a break from me. He doesn't need me hassling him all the time about doing this, that, and the other thing, So, and Silamander said, why don't you start your own Patreon? And I'm like, because it's one more platform to manage. And frankly, I only have 7 fans. And Lauren won't even, give me actual money. And neither will Tyler, which is fine. So I'm just saying, even of all the people who will bother to show up just to listen to me talk, not even all of those people will pay. So the Patreon's kind of a losing proposition at this point. I'm not nearly popular enough for that, but you can get that same content by subscribing to Hard Time, which Silamander has done. So that drops on Wednesdays in June. I might continue it in July if I'm seeing healthy numbers with people listening to that. I dropped the story of how I met my dog, Dana, last week, and I only got like 3 listens on that. Nobody cared about the story of how I met my dog, which is funny because it was an entirely fictional story in which I pull a gun on someone. So it's like, I don't know. It's going to be entertaining. It's not going to be the truth. I would never be so boring as to tell you a true story. You are Mr. Negative tonight. You just got a negative thing to say about almost everything, Detzlav. I'm missing a little bit of context here. Don't baby ring. I don't even want to know. I'm innocent, guys. I don't know stuff. I'll revisit it tomorrow after work. I tried my best, but the sun took me out today. I've used shipboard fire hydrants. I bet Drew has as well. He was in the Air Force. I bet David has. He was on the USS Germantown just the other day fighting a Class C fire, which means I don't think he was using a fire hydrant, but the code for single white female shenanigans, I think. Oh, I got rid of Netflix a couple years ago, but I'm getting ready to dump Disney Plus because X-Men 97 is over. So maybe I could go back to Netflix because that's cheaper than the whole Disney bundle that I have. She used email quite a bit. In her stalking? It would take a lot of energy for someone to stalk me. They'd have to drive all the way out here. Believe me, they'd give it up before halfway here. I spend $14 on milk a week. I wonder if you're lactose intolerant. My first partner, Brent, set up a Patreon up for his park. Nothing ever happened with it. Okay. I'd pay, but I'm baby broke. Hey, man, if you don't have $4.99, you don't have $4.99. I get it. Oh, 1,000 children, and so I just pumped the milk from my own body. You two discuss your milk sale without me. I don't need to be a part of that. You should probably just buy the cow at that point. Josh still has your skateboard. Talk to Josh. I haven't been to Denver since I last saw him, so it's not like I could pick it up for you. Thank you, Lauren. Send me a DM on difficult to look at pictures with $20. You just bought 4 pictures. If you want something specifically, ask me. I'll see if I already have something in stock. So send me a DM with your email address, and then I will figure out some files to send for you, my man. Will Cray, April, I can't do that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Get each other's numbers. I'm Mr. Negative every. Why is that though? What's going on with you? Being negative is no way to live. You know, and I would know. I'm negative most of the time, and I don't recommend it to anyone. But most of my life, people will tell you I was the most negative person you've ever met. I should honestly, like next week, since like we need to mix it up in terms of what's entertaining for this show, I should get my yearbook out. It's right over there. I mean, it's in my closet right there. I should get it out and read the stuff that people said about me in high school. I know that all high school boys are moody and all this, but like, I think it was last year, the year before, I went out to Virginia and I hung out with a friend of mine from high school. Nothing weird. Just a girl I knew from German class. I knew her. I went to German all 4 years of high school, so I had a class with her every year. And I always liked her. I always thought she was smart. I hope you can't hear my cat, who's not going to get fed with that attitude. But anyway, so I hung out, I didn't really hang out with her in high school. I went to German class with her, and I think maybe we went on one field trip or whatever. And I liked her, and I liked her a little bit, but we were mostly friends. She was definitely only a friend to me. And but anyway, we're grown ups now, and none of that matters. But anyway, so I went out and hung out with her because I was in Virginia. Like I went out and disc golfed with a buddy of mine in Norfolk. I went out to the Outer Banks by myself, and I walked on the beach on a day with a freeze warning. I was there in what month was I there? Was I there in March? Was I there that early? I don't believe I was there in March. But anyway, I walked on the beach by myself. There's a place out there called Duck Donuts. I went there by myself. I just spent some time alone, which is what I do all the time. But I went out there and hung out with her, and I was joking and smiling the way that I do with you guys. And she couldn't believe it. She goes like, "You're like completely different." I'm like, "Well, I'm not like being abused and neglected at home anymore. Like I'm grown up, but I could, I'm not dealing with all the shit I was dealing with as a kid." So she just knew me as this like really kind of sad, sullen, shy, quiet, sad looking, negative guy. And I told her I was miserable all those years that we went to high school together, and now I don't have to be, and life's better now. Where do we sign up for the show? Do you mean Hard Time? So if you go to Spotify, find the show. It's called Hard Time. If you want, Lauren, when you send me that DM with your email address in it so that I can send you, we can negotiate which pictures you want from me, because you just bought 4 of them under our terms, which we didn't even really negotiate. Go to the Hard Time podcast. You'll see an about section. If you want to, it's easy to look for it as this. It's Hard Time by Jake Welder and Jonathan Bates. So if you put our names in there, it should come up. Hard Time by Jake Welder and Jonathan Bates. It'll come up. And then we just did our 80th episode. Most of those episodes are free to listen to. We only went to a monetized version maybe 3 months ago. We still do a free episode every week, and then we do a paid episode every week, as I mentioned. But you go over there, and then on Spotify, on the About section, there's a link you can click, and the link will take you to a pay page where you can give it your PayPal or your bank card or whatever. It's $5 a month. We joke on the show that the $5 goes to Jake's children. The $4.99 is what you would spend on a beer or a coffee, and it's really not a big deal. I would appreciate it if you wanted to listen to the show. I like it. Drew called it Hard Time last week. He called it a guilty pleasure. So the idea that Drew is listening to me and that he thinks it is a guilty pleasure is very flattering. I love the story of Dana. Well, you could hear it again if only you were a subscriber to Hard Time. What is the reward for the stalker? Do they get all jazzed about being covert? You mean generally for stalkers? I'm sure there's a thrill and a sense of power that comes from observing someone covertly, that they don't know that you're there and that you can do anything that you want to them at any time. I'm very sure that that's part of it. But it's more so just invading someone's privacy or space that will give them a thrill. You got to remember that, like, they don't express or feel love or connection with other people in terms of the way other people do. I don't know what you guys are talking about, Detslav. I don't know if you're doing a Hal impression. I'm sorry, Dave. I can't do that. What year were you born? 1984. That is correct. Troubling. Why are you asking what year I was born? Will I see you tomorrow? Everyone gets pretty weird about the thing that keeps my kid alive. Oh, the milk? Isn't it just like one of the joys of motherhood that, like, is unique to motherhood? Are yearbooks even still a thing? No, I went to high school a long time ago. Oh, you're not asking me. Fuck, I'm dumb. Come off the cocky attitude. I'm sorry. I'm just tired. I don't know if they do that or not. I can't imagine in an era of Facebook that there's any reason for anyone to have a yearbook, because that's where everyone, like, wrote numbers. Like, hey, you're so cool. Keep in touch. Here's my phone number. I will also read any phone numbers that I have in that book, because I guarantee you no girls left me their phone numbers in that book. I have nothing. Feed the cat, John. Can you guys hear the cat? I think I chased the cat away. You too. Please have some decorum. I'm about to kick you out of here. Better step before John throws up. If I was aware, if I had any idea, I would throw up. I guarantee you. But I have no fucking clue what's going on. Soft time. It's called a hard time because it's a show about prison. You're doing hard time. Also, we make lots of puns about it. So yeah, it's kind of. When we named the show, we named it 2 minutes before we started recording. We didn't give it any thought whatsoever. So it was like, so your fake name's gonna be Jake Welder. Does that work for you? Because yeah, that's my Jake impression. Sure. And I said, we're going to call the show Failure to Stop Hard Times. Does that work for you? Sure. Let's do it. Very good, sir. Yeah, that's him. Kind of stoic, laid back. Very, very good yin to my yang on that show. I described it as listening to Hard Time is like taking Tylenol PM and a Monster Energy drink at the same time to see who can win. Abby, has criticized the dynamic of the show. She's not here, so I could say whatever I want to say. But I'm just like, Jake's interesting just in a way that you can't tell right away. You have to get invested. And if people aren't willing to invest themselves, then hard times, no place for them. Last one, Harris only stocks people that you know well. So is that why you're getting to know me better? You're asking me for my date of birth? I know him better now. Now I can stalk him. This makes me understand everything even less. I understand anything going on even less now. John is still alive and hasn't left us yet. People finally did show up, David. Who won your hockey game? I spent both my last days off all on John content, hard time episodes, and even a Kendra episode of Comm Center and this. Multiple Bluetooth speaker, earbud, and TV changes. Whenever someone tells me that they have spent a whole bunch of time listening to me, it's very flattering. I never thought that anyone would give a rip. If my sister were here, she would tell you, before I started podcasting with Drew, I was interested in the idea. And I think I mentioned this last week that when I was in college, someone recruited me to be on a radio show. And I said, no, I will never do that because I'm too shy. I recorded a bunch of monologue podcasts just to experiment with it, just to see what it would be like to record my own voice, to listen to it, to edit it. And a lot of those things were the first things I released on Patreon. Like the first 3 or 4 things that I ever released on Patreon were those things. And so, but I didn't think anyone would care. I know I'm a bit of a storyteller. I like telling stories. I like to weave a good yarn, as it were. But I never thought that anyone would give a rip. So when someone says, whether it's Salamander or Foxy or whoever else is secretly doing it, it's very flattering. And thank you. I think I was the last person in here that graduated high school. And yes, we had yearbooks and still did sign them. John is my only non-friend friend. Are we not friends yet? What does it take? You were one of the first people to reach out to me and tell me not to podcast, Salamander. And you got mad at me and you said that I drove you to drink. You said that I ruined your life, and then you're still here. So we've already overcome like some sort of a challenge. So we're friends as much as two people who've never met can be friends. And I don't say that just to have Will Cray one up you. I actually helped make my school's yearbook. I was quoted my freshman year. And I thought it was so stupid. They asked me, the yearbook committee came around and asked me a question because I was a freshman. Well, we want to get the freshman quote. They asked me, how does high school match up to your expectations? They're asking the one guy that did not go to middle school. I hadn't gone to school for 3 years. And I'm not used to interacting with another person, let alone an upperclassman. And so I said something. I'm going to say something so boring that there's no way they'll quote me. And I said, some things are what I expect and some things were not what I expect. They put that in there. Oh, I was quoted my freshman year yearbook for saying that. I have come far from those words. Obviously, it was only, 24, 25 years ago. My cat won't stop laying on me. It's starting to annoy me. My cat is very skittish during the day. Like he runs around and he can tell from my posture what I'm going to do. Like if I'm going to lock him downstairs, he'll run away and hide from me. But then I will get up and I will be eating a bowl of cereal and he climbs on my lap and I will put up my arm I don't want you here right now, and then he'll go underneath. One time I was eating a steak, the fucker literally walked up underneath me and started biting the steak right off my plate. Hello, Carly. Nice to see you here. April says I could start a cult. I discussed that some last week too, April. I know that you can't watch every show every week, but we were talking about that, about how I believe at some point that Eric will actually have people kill for him or themselves or something. And then my cult is actually very small. It's a very reasonable cult. It's not Jim Jones cult. It's, a very non-threatening cult. We don't even have enough to, once I'm infiltrated by the FBI and there's an equal number of FBI agents to cult members, then we'll know that I will have arrived. What did I miss here? I'm a good guesser. Oh yeah, I'm spending $1,000 in gas to come stalk your butt out in BFE. I don't know what BFE means, but that's probably where I'm at. I could start a cult if I had the energy. Here's something else I said last week, is that Patty, who was here earlier, who requested that I play Hunt for Red December, she told me when I was brand new, maybe my first week, she goes, I don't know if you're Jesus Christ or Charles Manson, but I think you are. Someday you're going to have a cult or some kind of cult following or something. I don't remember exactly what she said, but I said, I assure you I'm neither one. But here I am years later, and apparently, we were talking about this at the beginning of the show. That apparently I have fans, and that if you actually measured my worth by the number of fans I have, think about how many fans Donald Trump has, or Kim Kardashian, I guess, or someone else I don't even know. They have all these fans. If that's some measure of their worth or their value or whatever, about 7 or 8 fans is about the correct number for me. So I think it's an excellent way to rate someone as a human being. 8 people. I suppose 0 is always worse. The buy Jake is the best. You could be getting twice as that a week if you really think it's so great, Will. If you think the buy Jake is the best part, you could get twice as much as that. Carly says, hey, hello. That's love. I did get the Hal reference. Yes. Every once in a while, I do get a good reference. I do like that movie as well. Was David the cute one who called in? Yes, he was. Lawson Harris, if you reach out to me on any platform, which you did not do last week, I will give you his phone number. Will's the one that called in tonight. Will's kind of cute. Losman Harris, I know you said something that you do not take men under 6 feet tall. Will does not even remotely qualify. Will is about 5'2". I remember when I was at the studio with Will, he always carried a phone book in each hand with him wherever he went. And then he would put those down on the seats, so he could look into our eyes as we spoke. And every time I saw him, I thought he was very far away, but he was just short. So I would always call out to him, Will, hey, Will. And he'd be like, what? I'm like, because he's so short, it like defies my depth perception. So I'm like, you're right there. All of a sudden, he's just right next to you. You have no idea. Because when your eyes behold him, you assume he's a good quarter mile away. Salamander just waiting on you. Waiting on me to do what? I feel like was told to do something. I don't see. Oh, you're talking to Carly. David, the bar I'm off just called last call on food. Go get some wings and some kind of carb. I'm in the mood for biscuits myself, but I won't have any. We could be friends, but you playing. I don't know who that's directed at. Probably Salamander. Carly knows what's up. John doesn't want to be friends. We're only allowed to be fans. I just told you we were friends. You could call in right now on the phone and talk to me like a friend would. Check in on me, see how I'm doing. I talked to Kendra today on the phone just to see. She called me to see how I was doing. East Coast time, I guess. I refuse to be a fan. You're not a fan. You're not even nearly adoring enough to be a fan. You are someone that gives me so much shit and kind of rough me up a little bit in our messages. And then you occasionally co-host our shows. And you're nice and smart and I like you. But you are so mean to me. Yeah, I have chicken in my house that my cat would definitely kill me for it. John, my favorite Kool-Aid is blue when the time comes. I will make sure you get your preferred Kool-Aid. That's the least I could do. And that's the thing, April. I appreciate you calling the Kool-Aid blue. There's so many blues, so I'll make sure you have your option of blue. How do you know the FBI isn't 75% of your fan base already? I don't know, man. Are you fed? You have to tell me. Oh, is that what it stands for? I am not there. So if she goes to Egypt, she'll go in the wrong direction. What was your Instagram? Hold on, I'll put it on the screen for you. I have it currently set as Earth's worst driver because I almost crashed twice today. And I was looking at some warrants for people today who have killed people driving. And I was like, thank God that I'm not the world's worst driver. Difficult to look at pictures. Oops, I didn't spell it right. So earlier, I don't know if you saw this. Maybe you didn't see that part. But at the end of the video I showed, the one that I made the claymation, it said difficult to look at pictures. I've been using that since 2002. I've been using that handle for everything creative I've ever made. It didn't translate well into the 21st century because when I was told to create an Instagram for purposes of marketing the book and marketing the show, I said, well, creatively, I've always used difficult to look at pictures. I don't think it works well as an Instagram handle. It doesn't, no one thinks of me when they see that. And you guys like my artwork, so I guess it's not difficult to look at. So there's my Instagram. Lost Harris reminds me bum effed Egypt. Tyler says, being Canadian, I can't be from a 3-letter agency. But sure know lots about them. Cults. Oh, are there a lot of cults up in Canada? I wouldn't know. Will's man about 5'2". He says 5'2", sir. Well, correct the record, Will. You can say how tall you are. Yeah, Will, stop being a fuck. Quit Patreon and join Hard Time. God damn it. Salamander heard me go on about you, Will Cray. She knows all about it. You don't have to quit if I were to stop, but just, anyway, I'm not going to get on that one again. He could do whatever he wants to do. He's a grown man, even if it doesn't show. Michael Hendricks says, poor Dewey. Oh, because the show's supposed to be about his fate, and I only mentioned him casually at the beginning of the show. I actually had a ladder to climb up the chairs. All right, all right. So he's being a good sport about it. Salamander speaks the truth. Carly, did you get your fraud situation figured out? John needs to go to bed. It is tight. I did wake up many hours ago. I am very sleepy. I'm going to pick up hard drugs instead. Will, did I treat you so bad that you're going to throw your life away? Michael Hendricks is here, by the way. What's up, Michael? Hard drugs for hard times. Will Cray says, exactly. You were, Detslav says, you were ordered to start a cult, John. Scylla and the rest of us are waiting on you to start. Me, I'm already a cult of one. Yeah, I respect you too much to try to recruit you into my cult. Well, I handled that one adroitly. We'll start with something light like math or speed. Don't start with that fentanyl. Yeah, stay off of that fentanyl. Don't do that. Don't do that. Keeps you on your toes, boo. I got to do that fentanyl. Okay. Will, if you're doing fentanyl soon, I'll say goodbye now. You've always been a good guy to hang out with. I like you. You're nice. Very friendly to me. You were always a big fan of Failure to Stop, and even though I was brand new when we met to the show, you were very kind to me. And the most interactions I remember having with you, you were completely intoxicated. Tyler says, life's good spending time with a little man. How about you, Michael? Will Cray says, get bent on Fent. I guess he's got a mission in life now. Osmer here says, just looking for sleep then. Michael Hedrick says, awesome. All good here. Las Mujeres says, fun fact, it wasn't really Kool-Aid. It was a generic grape drink. That's awful. Jim Jones didn't even spring for full Kool-Aid. That's the great thing about having a small cult is that my overhead is so low. And then now with the era of the internet and Amazon, I can get you guys premium Kool-Aid. Premium stuff. Chef sprinkled Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? You're going to get great stuff. I said blue because I made this personality just for you. You made the personality that's in this cult? Or you have a blue personality? It's Snowmageddon all over again, but no snow. Drive safe, John. Oh, yeah, I remember you were one of the first people to call me, and I was almost about to die, and you were mad that I answered the phone. I went back to see it, but I must have missed it. It's right there. Difficult to look at pictures. Will Cray says, I'm 5'6". Las Mujeres is close to my height, but not quite. Oh, you're shorter than Las Mujeres. Oh, Will. Target destroyed. Oh. Get some shin implants. I did get it figured out. April says, I'm 5'3.5". John would only see me from the millennial high vantage angle. I don't even know what April. I don't the millennial high vantage angle. This woman is smarter than me, so I very frequently am eluded by her. The half doesn't count. Boy, don't beef with April, Will. You will regret it. No woman can handle herself. Damn, I thought you were ghosting me. I don't know. It's difficult to look at pictures. All of my height went downstairs. You got big feet? Zinged you good. All right, guys. There's lots of people here now. No one was here when the show started. Anything else before we go? Well, you know what they say about people with big feet? Big socks. Got big socks. Last call for phoning me on the phone, I suppose. Nobody? What's happening with Dewey? I think Dewey said that I could actually say what's going on with him. Dewey, no, I shouldn't say. I was hoping that if I put his name in it that he would show up because he didn't come to the show tonight. What's happening with Dewey? Okay. Dewey, straight Kool-Aid concentrate powder, and I'm in. Yeah, you don't like the sugar. Oh, your bedtime story. Thank you for reminding me. I will read something from that. I'll find something. Okay. Big heart. Will May have a big heart. What's happening with Dewey? Gosh dang it. If I wouldn't wake people up, I would call. That's okay. I'll just imagine that you are. If you wanted to just chat a lot, I can actually talk to you like we're on the phone. Is Dewey staying or not? Dewey is staying. Dewey is not here, though. Everything that you're seeing on the show being done is being done by me. So you notice that the thumbnails are drawings now instead of pictures. I don't know if anyone pays that close attention or not. Sometimes if you pay close attention, you could see things that, if you pay real close attention, you'll notice them. The things are different. The editing of the show is not nearly as tight. Like tonight, there's this little TikTok graphic that comes up, and it comes up real slow, and it goes. I was like so embarrassed by that little TikTok graphic on the show because it went like this. And I'm like, man, Dewey would have made that run smooth. And then there was a part 2 where I had to cut out. I actually had to. You guys couldn't see it probably, but I actually had to like massively re-edit the show so that you could see me and Drew talking for longer. And there's a part there where it transitions from where the StreamYard layout to like the layout I had to engineer to look like StreamYard. And like there's a little wibbly wobbly part and our names disappear. And Dewey would always put something fun at the end, like a little graphic or a little story or, because I'm working on the audio and I'm working on the video and we record on Tuesday and we launch on Thursday. It's as soon as we're done recording, I'm working on the show to get it done in time. So I don't have a lot of time to do a lot of the things that he does well. But the thumbnails, of course, with the artwork being drawings, like last week's episode, I drew a picture of Hannah Payne being interrogated. This week, I did a picture of sort of a more generic 911 dispatcher. You could see this woman being sworn in front of the flag, and she's got a headset on. So my thumbnails are drawings, and his were always like stock photos. He's staying, but he will be gone. I believe he's actually returning home on tomorrow, so I should see if I can catch up with him. But he's going to be gone from producing the show for a while because of a family issue that is joyous. A joyous family issue that he needs time away for. Night shift nurse school made me awake when everyone else sleeps. So you've always been a nurse at night? Wait, no, there was a time when you were nursing during the day, but you went to night school for nursing and then you became a night nurse. So you just like the sun rises and like you're looking at your Mars and the light casts across it. You're like disoriented. And you see pills scheduled for 0800 and you're like, I've never passed these before. So I just really was very reductive and insulting on what your job is, by the way. I can't understand your job. I'm sure you're like suturing wounds and chest pain and fixing up stabbed people and things like that. I like the drawings that you're doing for the thumbnails. Thank you, Will. That was nice. When did you switch to Diet Coke? I always like to keep one on hand, just in case. You never know when a Diet Coke might come in handy. Peanuts only go into regular Coke. That's true, because of the sugar. I am a Coke Zero guy. She even knows my Coke. Yeah, I just always keep one on hand, just in case. I didn't say that. I didn't say it. I mean that they were both red. I could only remember the red. They're both red. What's red? I don't know. They're both red, I guess. You don't know if that's joyous. It is for people that really wanted one. She became a night nurse. I hand out Tylenol. You do not. Stop it. You do more than that. Excalibur wounds. Does Excalibur, this is a weird question. Why am I asking a question? But I know that Excalibur's, it's either Arthur pulled it out of the stone or the lady in the lake gave it to him. One of those two things is true. But does Excalibur have special wounding properties? Isn't it just a sword that, like, you know, like any other sword would really suck to be slashed or stabbed with? Tyler, maybe you can answer that question about Excalibur. Yeah, you could just go ahead and delete that, I guess, because some people want that for their lives. And you don't have to, and you could still be happy for other people. I did patch up shank wounds the other day. Boy, I would like to hear that story. Arthur's story is pretty suspect. Yeah. Was it some watery tart out of the Lady of the Lake who said, like, you've got to be king of the Britons, Arthur? Or was it some kid who pulls it out of a stone? If you watch the Monty Python version, it's the Lady of the Lake, and if you watch the Disney animated version, it's the Sword in the Stone, I think. It's essentially the story of King Arthur. I would need to watch the Monty Python version again. I'm constantly referencing it all the time, like the other day with Kendra. Look at the bones, or good idea, oh Lord. Of course, it's a good idea. There's just so many quotable things in that movie. Airplane too. Airplane and Monty Python and the Holy Grail. If I get any time this weekend, which I want to have, I should watch at least one of those. Probably Airplane, because that is a damn good movie. Thank you. See, that's all it takes. The shank was a nail the length of my index finger with a cloth type handle. Where did they get a nail? Troublesome. That's not good. I'm guessing from the PI shop where nothing bad ever happens. Monty Python, such a classic. So it was a baby shank. Should I sing the song? Baby shank, do 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 do. Is that what you're doing? I imagine you know that song. I imagine you have had that song played to you 10 billion times. It's the best Monty Python. Yeah, I have never seen Life of Brian or any of the other ones. I watched the show. Actually, I made the mistake of watching the show with my father-in-law once, and the British are way okay with showing breasts on TV. Like, that's not even a problem for them. And at one point, I'm sitting there with my father-in-law. Oh my gosh. It's my ex-father-in-law, but I'm watching Monty Python because I think it's safe to watch on their Netflix at their house. And all of a sudden, they just show a picture of breasts. And sure enough, Netflix, because this was 2009, it freezes right then. And I'm so embarrassed. Oh, I had forgotten that moment. And now it's back to keep me from sleeping. Who did that to me? Salamander. Damn it. The Guy Ritchie film of the Arthurian legend is really good too. I wonder if I've seen any Guy Ritchie films. Dewey would be able to tell me if I had or had not. Tis not but a scratch. I'll get better. Your arm's off, you silly bastard. Tis but a flesh wound. Get back here, you silly bastard. Oh, love that movie. Love it. Infinitely quotable. Right, been around 15 years since Phoenix. How about this, guys? We're talking about developing members-only content. This is the reason why Com Center memberships haven't started yet, is because we don't have any members content to give you. Like, we feel like if we're going to make you members, you should have something to show for that. That's like one of our things that we do around here, is that if you're going to give us money, we send Lauren, the files that he wants. We give subscribers to Hard Time an extra episode. If you're going to become a member of Com Center, we're going to put extra stuff out there. We could do a Mystery Science Theater 3000 watch along of Monty Python watch party. I don't even need Drew for that. You guys would probably just go ahead and watch that with me. I would figure out how to do it on here. Yeah, YouTube might stop us from streaming it because it can clearly detect Monty Python. So maybe there would have to be a workaround for that, but we would figure out something. Maybe what I would do is find a way to do it with you guys, like through a video chat service, so we could watch it together. And then I would record my comments over the film later so that people who couldn't watch it live could watch a repeat or something. We'll figure it out. Dewey's good at that stuff. The Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. 3. Finally done with babysitting. Hallelujah. No more babysitting Shark, damn it. We talked about my babysitting adventures last week on the show. My sister was here and we talked about how many times I've been hired to babysit. And it's a surprisingly high number of times. Do you know anyone who's willing to take on a conspiracy theory? Will you please stop using the question mark thing? What do you think that makes people think of you? It just makes people think that you like punctuation from a different language. I don't get it. Do you have that like on a macro? Is it easy for you to do that? Or are you just on your phone? Maybe you're on your phone. It's not so hard. We have a parade tomorrow. It is June, isn't it? Oh, mean. We have a parade tomorrow, and I will be blasting Baby Shark from the siren on our fire truck. It's a fireman's parade. Okay, got you. I'm sorry. That was a low blow and mean. I take it back. My kids have sharks that, when placed in the water, play that song. Oh, boy. I bet you're loved at the pool. It's the music of the demons. The new Sherlock Holmes movie were Guy Ritchie. I've seen both of those. Good job, Will. I saw both of those. I don't know why they never made a third one. I thought the first one was great. The second one was okay. I felt like it deserved a third. Tyler, I just want to be a part of something other than my local gang. Well, you're not willing to spend any money. And the thing is, if you want, Tyler, because you don't have any money, what I would be willing to do for you is that I would be willing to jump you into membership at Comp Center. Unfortunately, that means you have to take a savage beating. But I would be willing to do it. And then you would waive the fee, but we would jump you in like a gang. So DM me if you are willing to be jumped into the Comp Center gang as an official commie. Watch party sounds awesome. Yeah, we've been talking about this stuff for a while. We just have to figure out exactly how to do it without running afoul of YouTube. Maybe if it was set to members only, maybe that wouldn't trip. I don't know. Blowing out your speakers, blasting Baby Shark is how you summon Satan. Pretty sure if you just really want to talk to him, he'll show up too. David, if you only knew how different it really was. Jen did one of those old FTS Patreons. She knows how. I'll ask. Who the hell's Jen? Who's Jen? Jen did one on those old FTS Patreons. She knows how. Who the hell's Jen? I guess what you're saying is I could record my voice watching the movie, and then it would be timed to the movie. So I would say, okay, I'm hitting play now, and then you could just listen to it. That would probably be the easiest way to do it. But I'm worried that I would sit quietly the whole time without interactions from people. Who's Jen, though? That worries me that I don't know who Jen is. Michael, thank you. $4.99. By the way, when you guys give, does it give you an option of $4.99? Does it do that because it knows you're not willing to pay $5? I've done super chats before, but I don't remember it like never being in not round figures. Why care what people think? Because Michael's being nice to me and I could use a nice. Speak Spanish if you're doing the goofy upside down question mark. You're damn right. You too. Thank you, Los Mujeres. Nobody actually get me. No, stop it. Yeah, this is not a place for that. This is a loving place. This is where like the intellectuals from Failure to Stop have come. So we could all do better. How many minutes? Boy, it's getting late here. Same thing, John. Pride Parade, Fire Department Parade, one of the same, really. Oh, Jen, Imperial Girl. She made one for Patreon? Oh, for her own Patreon. Well, that explains why I was never aware of it, because I never subscribed to her Patreon. Is this an open offer? Can anyone get beat to save some money? Well, you already sent $20, so you don't get to get jumped in April. Yeah. You guys want to hear something confidential? Good to know. Nancy Kerrigan with the pipe to the kneecap. No. Our jumping in is no weapons. We are friends here. We're not the Crips, guys. We're the commies. We're the commanders, the commandos. We're not the Bloods here. We're not the Mexican mafia. It's just gonna be like a little sloppy fight to beat you in. It's gonna be very pathetic. Jump you in, I guess is what I should say. Now we're starting a Comm Center Fight Club. By the way, Fight Club, one of my favorite books. Movie's almost as good. The book and the movie have very, very different endings. You should definitely read the book. And if you don't like to read and you just like to listen, Salamander, listen to the audiobook of Fight Club. So good. I listen to it every summer too. Still going to cost me my money because I'm a million miles away. We'll figure it out. We'll meet up at the 49th parallel right at the line. I'll swat you. Neither one of us, we won't need a passport. We're standing in our respective countries. That has to be allowed. Why can't a Canadian and an American meet at the 49th parallel and just talk? There would be no reason for that. And yeah, I can like punch you or whatever, and it's agreed upon. But just we would work it out. We could just meet at the line. Focus on savings. Yeah, I don't think so. Comm Center Fight Club. I love it when people spell it that way. Honestly, I'm going to talk to Drew about changing the spelling of it to just Comm Center the Canadian way. I always spell theater that way. Why wouldn't I spell Comm Center that way? Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 4.99. Oh, look, got a phone call. I think it's because he knew I wanted to leave.
Call from
John.
Hey, John.
Hey, John.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
What's up?
Nothing much. Just figure I'd call, say hi, see what your thoughts were on the trebuchets that were being used.
On the what being used?
The trebuchets.
Oh, it's got more leverage than your typical catapult.
Yeah. So you've seen the news because you stay current with the news.
Has
people
someone
using trebuchets.
Has someone been using a trebuchet recently?
Yes.
For warfare purposes or for like launching pumpkins?
For warfare purposes.
Don't we have like guided cruise missiles and stuff? Ballistic intercontinental ballistic missiles? What's the use? What's the need of a trebuchet at this point?
Apparently, Israel is using trebuchets and flaming arrows on the war zone.
Oh, you know what they should send over in a trebuchet? They're infected dead.
Yes, the infected dead. Yes,
that's what that's really for.
Yeah. I think if we're using trebuchets and flaming arrows, I think it's just time for a crusade.
Well, you actually have a kind of an in with the Department of Defense, and as a gunner's mate, I'm sure that you could make a case for them that having shipboard trebuchets, I assume to fight close in small watercraft in asymmetric battles. I'm sure that you could make a case for that.
I've actually made the case a couple of times for potato guns, just because we do have compressed air and stuff like that. That it's just easier.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially if you don't want to look like a bad guy in the news while you're trying to keep Somali pirates from boarding your vessel, which is an active war, you could do that, I guess.
So, John, you know how destroyers, cruisers have a torpedo tube?
Yeah, I watched enough McHale's Navy to know how it works.
So, we used to shoot basketballs back and forth between ships using those torpedo tubes.
Basketballs, you say?
Yes, we used to put basketballs into these tubes, and they just launch off of compressed air. So we would just shoot basketballs to each other across from ship to ship.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was basically a big game of dodgeball.
I also saw some video once where some guy, what is it they call someone who hasn't crossed the equator?
A wog day.
Wog, and then you become a shellback, right, when you cross it?
Yeah.
Well, they were going on some cruise on board USS Nimitz, and they were crossing the equator, and we did some ceremony where all the wogs had to, be hazed or whatever. And they took the seaman apprentice and they put him in a chair that was like attached to the catapult, and they shot him off of the ship and then drove over him.
Well, we can't do that anymore. I wish we could. I wish we could.
Did you believe that story?
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past anybody.
You wouldn't put it past them
I
that they
think
would
that-
murder one of their own shipmates in a game of hazing gone too far.
I mean, people disappear at sea. It's a normal thing.
Well, it doesn't help that they give you uniforms that are the exact same color as the ocean. So when I was on an aircraft carrier, when I would look over the side of the deck, and they would have these, horrible nets that you would fall into that would almost be as painful as falling into the sea. Have you ever had to do a man overboard drill or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's mandatory to do overboard drills all the time.
Have you? What I guess what I meant to ask was like, have you ever actually been in a man overboard situation?
Sort of. We had a plane blow up on the flight deck,
That's kind of a big deal.
so we had So we kind of had to go into the man overboard situation just to muster up everybody, make sure we weren't missing anyone. But
I remember
other than that, it was pretty safe.
I remember a story back in maybe it was the late '80s or early '90s, but there was a Tomcat sitting on the deck of Enterprise, and it had a missile blow up on it, and it severely damaged the carrier and rendered it neutralized, and they had to go back into dry dock and the whole deal, and that was kind of a bad deal. So I'm glad you didn't get hurt when the plane blew up.
Yeah, it was in the process of being launched off, and it gobbled up like it normally does, just to do all the tests. Something came through and ended up blowing up one of the engines.
Man, that's terrible. I assume the pilot died.
Yeah. No, there was shrapnel. They hurt a lot of people, but we were close to San Diego, and everything was pretty much taken care of real quick, where everybody survived.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I got to ride on the elevator and do the whole Dependence Cruise thing and watch the Tomcats fly and go down to the forecastle and see the big anchor chain and all that stuff and the mess and the hangar deck and the superstructure. And I think I asked to go to the magazine and they said no. So I think they said I didn't have the clearance for that.
You could have gone down to the small arms mag.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you calling in. I would talk longer, but I'm probably going to be ending the show here soon because I am tired.
Yeah, I know you're tired. That's why I was kind of surprised that you were still going.
I don't know why I am. There's only 3 people at the beginning, but people are still hanging in there. So I hate letting my fans down. When people are paying for something, I keep performing for them. I don't just do the minimum for people who pay for stuff. Anyway, I'm done.
That's why we love you.
I'm done picking a will. Yes, thank you, David. I'm sure I will talk to you next week. You be safe, okay?
All right.
Thanks for fighting for my freedom.
Of course.
Oh, of course. Talk to you later.
Yeah.
Bye. All right. $4.99 used to trip some algorithm thing. Not sure if it still does. All right. I'll let you guys figure that out. I got to drive home now anyway, so it's all Hemi for Hemi. Do you hear me? Oh, man, that was embarrassing. It's all Hemi from here on. Yep. I found out today that Eric and I have the exact same truck. That was really weird. How are you still live? Tanner, I just said it on there. When people pay me money, I don't let people down. I am not one of these people that bails. People are going to show up for me. I'm going to show up for them until I just keep going. I can podcast over 400 hours a week. Is there a building that's right on the border that is half in Canada and half America? Yes, there is. I was watching this really cool documentary called How the States Got Their Shapes, and there is a building that's right on the international boundary. There's actually lots of cases of that. There's a building that's right on the border of Tennessee and Virginia, and one lies in a county where you can't drink and the other one is, and it's like literally a bar. So like if you walk to the back of the bar, you cannot have alcohol back there. You walk to the front of the bar, you can. Really weird stuff. The duty was liquor. There are many cul-de-sacs that intersect. I don't know what that means, but something about it is funny. No, you don't have to stop talking so I can go to sleep. I don't have to wake up early tomorrow. I do have to get the show ready for Friday. But that only takes not terribly long. Flaming balls that they were throwing up. Common barn. You guys ever having a whole conversation here? April, you're not my mom. Just the sheer number makes it kind of unclear. Statistically, there's a very good chance that April's your mom based on the number of children that she has. She has a lot of kids. April is everyone's mom in that she's very caring towards other people, and she always goes out of her way to take care of everyone, even the people that don't deserve it are getting taken care of by her. That's she's got a kind of an edge to her. Any smart person does. She's very, very smart, smarter than me, but she's got a good heart. So she's got a better brain and heart than I do. So yeah, she couldn't attract one, so she made one of her own. She's got her own little following there. One more, and you got a pallbearer. All the pallbearers you need. Call mine a brood, so it's less aggressive. Brood is like what insects are. I don't like that. There was 4, John. Are you thinking the Vietnam, John? There was a famous incident on board the Forstall. Yes, the Forstall had a big fire on it. Enterprise did as well. Sleep stream, John? Would that be finally crossing a line into real cult territory to stream myself sleeping? I'm something of a light sleeper, so I don't know if I could. I would definitely have to turn off all these lights. I can't sleep with any light on at all, and you wouldn't be able to see me in the dark, so how would you even know? I better leave. I haven't paid or received my beating. All in due time. My wife just saw that I ate 6 donuts in one sitting. Oh my God, you have acute hyperglycemia. Someone get this man a gallon of water to drink. Or milk. Oh, man. They don't have Krispy Kreme where I live, but they used to. The reason why Krispy Kreme went out of business is because I stopped eating there. It used to be right by the Target store I worked at. And so I would stop there every Saturday morning and I would pick up the free glazed. I would pick up a raspberry filled. Until one day I walked in and the guy saw me and he says, "What's up, raspberry filled?" And I said, "My God, I will not be known or recognized for my preference of donut by this guy." And I never went back. And now it's like a Lens Crafters. So, well, you've already paid to watch me for 4 days then. Okay. I'll be sending you what I'll do is on my personal YouTube, I'll set up a members only stream. And to those people who would obviously pay for my dog's fur and pay $4.99 to watch me sleep, I will send out links to you. There's no way that I will be doing that, but there's no way you would enjoy it either. The sound of me occasionally like crying or turning around. I sleep like a rotisserie chicken. I'm constantly spinning. I get sore. I'm old. I just have to spin around. I don't think it crosses, just gently nudges the line. It depends on how much you know about me. With the lights off, I suppose it doesn't matter though, right? I once said this line and no, I won't say that right now. I said something pretty bawdy on True Crime earlier this week, so I've already had my disgusting comment for the week. Just send me a video of your day. I could do that. I'm sure that just boring me driving around. It's mostly me driving, so you can stalk me. Yeah, I bet if I did that, if like I just sent like did like a video blog like the one I did, one where I stood in for Dewey. you would probably like freeze frame it and like try to make out little details. I was actually about to show a video tonight of a video that I made about it was such nonsense. It was about the origin of Salisbury steak. But the documentary I made takes place in Salisbury, North Carolina, and all the footage that I shot is actually from wherever I live. So when I was going to play that, I'm like, well, there's license plates in that and stuff. So I decided not to show it. Very funny. Maybe I could blur it out or something and show it to you next week. At this rate, John is going to be not going to do that. No, I will do things for you guys. Like if you want, if somehow I'm entertaining you, I don't care how that is. Like, yeah, I'm a 911 dispatcher. I'm here to talk about my job if you want to hear about that. But obviously, I do a 3-hour show on Thursday night that's just about whatever you want. OnlyFans, John, what PJs will you wear tonight? Well, I will tell you that I don't own a pair of pajamas. Do most men? Brushing Dana. I will brush her when she has hair again. Chase only if you live in a huge city. I wonder now, because I used to live in a bigger city. I wonder now if I made it. I could make that video that Dewey made earlier with no people, doing the walk around town with no people. I could make that very easily. But you wouldn't be impressed by the size of the town. You would like worry about like the wind blowing us away or a tornado coming through and then no one having known that we were ever here. The Costco one was riveting. I did live stream going to Costco, guys. Do you want to see more live streams of me doing things? When I do that, when I went to Costco, I'm like, I'm going to live stream this because the whole thing was a built-in joke, right? About how I can't get a membership from Costco. I've actually been doing the bit of me not being able to get a membership from Costco for easily. I've been doing that as a bit since I worked at the prison. So I've been doing that bit that I can't get a membership there for 11 or 12 years. I did go to Costco last week, by the way. I didn't go today. But when I did that, it was just for the fans of this show. I did I was so cheesy too, where like I was showing my card to every single person. Like I bought the hot dog and the guy goes, 79. He just throws the hot dog up there and I go up and show him my card. He doesn't give a fuck. And I keep showing it to everyone all the time, everywhere I went in the store. Like I went back where the samples are, like in the refrigerated area. And this lady is doing samples of like a piece of roasted chicken with barbecue sauce. And she goes, would you like a sample? And I pulled out my card. And I showed it to her. She goes, oh, I don't need to see that. And I'm like, I thought I would need it to get a sample. She goes, no, I don't care. Take as many as you want. Just like to show me that it wasn't a big deal. Because she thought that I had to show everyone everywhere that I went. And so I was doing that. So yeah, that whole thing was a comedy bit where I was interacting with real life people, but I was behaving. It was like when Conan O'Brien used to like go out and see the 1880s baseball, or anytime he would go out and do anything, he would just make an ass out of himself. And I live streamed that essentially. I have a Stranger Things onesie. I don't, because they wouldn't make one big enough for me. I would have to like bust out the bottom. John, you look like you sleep with socks on. You've probably heard me mention that on True Crime, that I don't believe in ever taking socks off, ever. I only do it in the dark. Even when I shower, I have to turn the light off to take the shoes off and be in my socks. Very dangerous. It's very slippery. I naturally, I have no grip on my feet, no natural grip, because they've been in socks since the day I was born. So there's no... I imagine your feet have whatever your hands have, whatever makes the sound. My feet are completely smooth, so very dangerous. I was telling Kendra today on the phone, we had a bad connection, and we were talking about that, and I was telling her about how how I invented the first permanent sock, and she didn't laugh at all. Oh well. I have an elephant onesie. No, I'm not a furry. Well, I'll let you do that. I don't even know about that. Tyler, I do turn invisible with the camo. My wife thought the elephant was hilarious. Were you wearing it upside down? It was a comedy bit, like what Eric does, except funny. Oh, does he do a bit though? He does mostly like stand-up oriented stuff. You know, I like to do comedy bits where I tell stories or I act in ridiculous ways. You know what? I'm gonna find one more video. I'm gonna see if I can find it. There was one more video. Drew and we were referencing this when we started making Comm Center this week. We were talking about a video that I made. I think this is it. I think I found it. I think I've looked for it 100 times. This is a promo video I made for Comm Center last year, so I'm in my old set. But this is a video that I made to promote the show, and I want to hear this. So this is me doing it. This is the difference between me and Eric. Eric does stand-up comedy, and then what I do is comedy bits. I like dedication to a bit, so I will show you that now.
Means he probably shouldn't have been playing with a gun that looks so real, but we're not talking about that.
What it is they're disgusting woke policies. It's all about tearing down this country, and worse than that, it's not only that they want to ruin this country.
That doesn't
it's all
matter
about
to me,
feeling
though.
special. Okay, there's nothing special going on inside of them. There's nothing special going on inside of them. So they have to do all this crap and draw all this attention to themselves in order to feel better about themselves. They make me disgusted, and I'll tell you.
Excuse me.
Shut up, Drew. This is my show now. I'm going to tell you something else. These guys, firefighters, are the Philadelphia Eagles of first responders. They make me insane. I love that with all my heart. So what that was it was video of Drew from the Tamir Rice episode. So Drew was not in that live with me. I recorded a reaction to him that was like timed up like we were arguing over something on the show. I actually had to like time out like how many seconds between when Drew would say something and so I would know to react to it. I had to time that out. And there's one part where Drew goes, "Excuse me." That's literally him saying "excuse me" because he like sneezed, and like I copied and pasted the audio, a part where his head moves. If you look closely, his mouth doesn't move because he's not talking. But it's like, no, this is my show now. And then I stand up like I'm gonna storm away, but then my fucking headphones are still attached because I'm a moron. And so then I'm like very ginger about it. Like, oh, I don't want to damage my equipment because I'm not really mad. But then like I was going to cut that off so you didn't see that part of me being stupid. But I'm like, just leave it on there. This is my favorite promo that we ever made for the show. So that's me dedicating myself to a bit. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show it one more time. That's how much I love it.
Means he probably shouldn't have been playing with a gun that looks so real, but we're not talking about that.
What it is they're disgusting woke policies. It's all about tearing down this country, and worse than that, it's not only that they want to ruin this country.
That doesn't
it's all
matter
about
to me,
feeling
though.
special. Okay, there's nothing special going on inside of them. There's nothing special going on inside of them. So they have to do all this crap and draw all this attention to themselves in order to feel better about themselves. They make me disgusted, and I'll tell you.
Excuse me.
Shut up, Drew. This is my show now. I'm going to tell you something else. These guys, firefighters, are the Philadelphia Eagles of first responders. They make me insane. There's something about it, like when Drew like is nodding, and then at the end he looks at the camera when I'm leaving. And then like when I'm yelling and he's drinking his Guinness Zero, like he's like, oh boy, he's on it again. I tried to do another one of these reaction videos where I took real video of me and Drew doing Comm Center and put in like new footage to make it just bizarre. Like, can you imagine me using this video to try to like attract people to watch Comm Center? It's insane, right? But I sent this. I sent this to Drew in the middle of the night. The first time he saw it, he like woke up his wife from laughing so hard. And to this day, we reference that. Anytime you hear Drew say, "Oh, it's their bullshit woke policies," John. Or today, like when we were rehearsing before the show, I'm like, "Shut up, Drew. This is my show now." Anyway, I don't know. I have always loved that one. Anyway, that was so self ingratiating, me saying how much I love my own self. What I do is better. Oh, the comedy that I do, because I do bits. That's the way I grew up with comedy. You know, Saturday Night Live, Conan O'Brien. I always loved the commitment to a bizarre bit. I love it more bizarre the better. And just the idea of me just going insane because some kid played with a gun. I don't know. Firefighters of the fucking Philadelphia Eagles. That must hurt you as a Bears fan. The Eagles have beaten the Bears quite a few times. I feel attacked. I don't know. I had to say something. You know, that script was not quite as well written and polished as the claymation one. That was sort of an off the cuff. I had to time it out, but you know, while those seconds are ticking down, I'm waiting to say something. But everything else that's happening in those seconds, I'm just ranting and raving. And just Drew's the way that he's, you know, looking at me and drinking a soda, like nodding at the end. You couldn't make it up. You are amazing. April says, thank you. Well done, John. Where do I file my complaint? Somewhere around here. Chase, no, I love firemen. This was made before I started doing a podcast with Kiefer. Kiefer made me appreciate firemen. He forced me to. Drew's comms featuring Drew. It is 12:32 where I live, and I still have to finish this opinion before I go to bed. Got to crash. Thanks, John. Johnson. You're finishing this opinion? Are you a judge? Are you a judge? Tell me right now before you go. You have to finish an opinion? Are you reading an opinion, a judicial opinion, or are you writing one? Are you deciding someone's fate while watching the show? You have to, and I still have to finish this opinion before I go to bed. What does that mean? Oh, I'm so fascinated. What if a judge is a fan of mine? Boy, that would be bizarre. Can you guys imagine? Like, judges are regular people, right? Like, we don't know about what they think and do, and obviously their lives are private. But could you imagine, like, a judge goes home and like laughs their ass off to South Park or, you know, The Simpsons or whatever, or me? What if there's a judge out there that watches Failure to Stop and thinks that I'm just the shit, but they can never do anything because of their job? That would be nuts. Different kind of opinion. I guess I'll never know. You have a good night, Michael. Anything else, guys? Should I just play that one on a loop? Because I do love it ever so much. Should I look to see if there's one more video there? Maybe because there was a few of them. I don't know if there's another good one there or not. I do like presenting videos that I've already made. There's like a lot of old night shift stuff. I don't know if you guys care about that or not. I used to do it before I was on the show. I used to do a lot of night shift stuff, like little videos and stuff. Here's one. I didn't really make this as much as I did change it. I added to it. I just, you know, so I can't really claim that I made this. It's just meant to be on a little Instagram story. It's not supposed to, you know, imply that I'm some kind of big deal for editing that. It was something on my hard drive, something that should just probably be deleted. Anything else? Let me see if there's anything else that I might have. You guys know I make the intros for all the other shows. I just made that new intro. I don't know if you guys have watched the Friday show, but there's a new intro on there. I don't know what this is. Should I even play this? Oh, it's just the song.
For every mystery, there is someone, somewhere, who knows the truth. Perhaps it's you.
Yeah, can you believe that all that stuff is worthless now? I mean, it was never really worth anything, but thank you for saying that. Did I edit the theme on that? Did I change that? Oh, the bedtime story. I keep forgetting. Okay, that's how I can end the show. That'll be good. Okay. So that's where you file your complaint. April thinks I'm amazing. Thank you. Means a lot. John's comms featuring Drew. It's 12:32. He's got to go to bed, do his opinion. Judges are laughing all the way to the bank. Speaking of which, anyone watching Your Honor? No, I heard there was a show called The Jury too, where it's like a fake trial and one person thinks they're on a real jury, but they're not. I heard that was good. Loop it. I'll play it one more time before we go. I realized the voice on the 911 person was really a person until you, John. It is. It's a human being with thoughts, feelings, and pants might be optional. Bedtime story. Bedtime story costs $20. Well, April, you paid, so you get one. Especially since apparently you want to be jumped into my gang. So this way, your money goes to the bedtime story. California, not California. It just, see on my screen, it says CACACACA. It doesn't, I think that shows everyone in the audience is seeing little Canadian flags. But what I see is little letters indicating what your emoticon is or your emoji. Seriously, I'll see you guys. Let's just leave this run for the algorithm. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. More watch hours. Marky Post, enough said. Marky Post, yeah, from Night Court. All right. I already did promise. That's true. I'm a man of my word. Sorry that you're on jury duty, man. That sucks. All right. I'm going to see if I can find a story that I haven't read on some other platform. Sorry about my cat. I have to scroll to something really old. Oh, should I read Good Old Pete? Oh, maybe I should. That's one that's never even been published because I wrote it the day before Uvalde. How about this one? This one, I'll read you a couple just because this one's really short. This one was done in the style of, this was the first entry on my blog, and I did it in the style of a news article. There's actually a way of writing. It's called something, but Stephen King employs it a lot. Where in books like Jerusalem's Lot, a lot of the excerpts that he puts in his book are just like this from the newspaper. And it's just written, it advances the story, but it's like you're reading an article about like what happened to this town that was overwhelmed by vampires. And it's a story, it's a style of storytelling. I think it's kind of cheap because if you're Stephen King, you shouldn't be advancing the plot as though you're just telling a story in a straightforward newspaper way, but it works for that book. Local by Terry Zahn. Another pair of visiting snowy owls die. These were hit by Molotov cocktail. After what was initially described to be a confrontation between a wanted international terrorist and an at best fringe law enforcement agency Thursday, confusion painted a West Side neighborhood until well after midnight. One thing was left painfully clear: two snowy owls, amongst the most beautiful birds in the pantheon of God's eternal and glorious creation, were left dead. There's a picture of two snowy owls, and the caption says, "Bruce and Gloria were expecting eggs later this year when they were destroyed." One died at the scene, apparently vaporized in an explosion, which took place inside a bike shed behind a private residence in the 3000 block of South Fairhall Avenue. The other clung to life long enough for scientists to measure its sadness at having watched its life partner vaporize before its very little eyes. There is actually scientific equipment for measuring bird sadness, and you bet your balls that is taxpayer funded. Scientists say that not only does the snowy owl mate for life, it does so for purely emotional reasons rather than for evolutionary ones. Authorities said the beautiful pair had just finished mesmerizing the local neighborhood with a majestic, if not somewhat gratuitous flight when they mistook the structure for some sort of owl coop. The critically injured snowy owl was in bad shape when it was brought in a shoebox to the Raptor Conservatory late in the day. A beautiful bird with white feathers and yellow eyes had a broken and twisted left leg. Part of its left wing had been torn off, and it could barely lift its head as well. It had a faintly delicious smell which enticed the ornithologist as much as it brought them heavy chagrin. Attempts were made to revive the bird from death, which can still feel pain several hours or even days after it dies, some people might believe, before Conservancy workers were forced to abandon the effort. The bird was given a name by the Conservancy staff to maximize a sense of familiarity and eventual loss. Quote, I just hope we can find the person that did this to Bruce and then do it to him. I know that sounds pretty unethical coming from a scientist, but I just finished eating my third snowy owl this week. I think the difference between right and wrong, the difference between the way that we treat animals and humans disappeared a long time ago, Conservancy Director Steve Schmidt said, wiping his mouth with a look of danger in his eyes. Did you like that news brief? I don't know if you did. There you go, American. Did you guys, I don't know. I would like to have some kind of feedback before I read again. Every time I do that, I'm taking an emotional leap. I have an earphone on and I can't hear the cat. The cat's coming and going. All right, nobody gave a shit about the snowy owl, so that makes me feel very emotionally vulnerable. Salamander? April? Everyone say you love John. Okay, well, nobody liked that story. So I'm like, all right, I'll try another one. Here's the story of me going to work, but it's written in the story of an old detective noir style. Because I was reading a lot of Dashiell Hammett and the guy that wrote The Big Goodbye and My Fair Lady. I can't remember his name. Only if you want while I read one more. Otherwise, I'll just go to bed. Salamander just says I'm here. She doesn't say that she liked that story. I got sidetracked looking for the Hard Time podcast on Spotify. Well, that's great. You know, I would rather have you do that, find that, and listen to that. Yeah. My son was talking to me. No, nobody listened to the story. You're all like, oh, read the bedtime story. And then as soon as it comes on. All right. I'll just do this for Salamander so that she can realize that we're friends. So remember, this is in the style of this is just the story of me going to work. But it's me writing it in the style of a gritty 1930s detective novel. So I wrote this purely as an exercise to see if I could do it. Unfortunately, my text justification here is that so that I cannot read it because it's like partially off the screen. So hold on one second. I'm going to paste it into a notepad so that I'm not like trying to figure that out. Oh, that's better. I'm going to go to preview. Maybe that'll be better. There we go. Okay. Here's me reading. And if people don't like this, I will never do this again. I was trapped in an oven. The very moment the ignition cylinder locked backwards and the fan snapped off, I was stifled in my seat. It was hard to believe the parking lot was a government job. They said, we have this much space along the west side. We got to have this many parking spaces inside of it. After the civil engineer protested the design of functioning parking lot is simply not a matter of division, the protest was ignored and the courthouse was complete. I looked to my left. A local PD Ford Explorer was inches away. I could still open my door and pry myself out with my groceries and my bag slung over my shoulder, and maybe only need a Band-Aid or two. I looked to my right. A large Ford F-150, black in color. The thing was so big I should have just pulled down the tailgate and parked inside his box. I was so close that I could slip my credit card between us. Poor guy, he doesn't have stand a chance of getting back inside his truck. He'd never suffer the indignity of the passenger side either. He'd rather wait till 5. I restarted Old Blue and threw the lever far over and back. The transmission locked into place, and I gave the alcoholic old engine a sip for old time's sake. As the clutch rose, we slid back from the curb with ease. Then I turned the wheel towards the black and white Prowler on the left and punched in the clutch, letting Isaac Newton take over on the downward slope to the curve. I checked left, I checked right. All right, there's my good deed. Despite going to the courthouse, of all places, a day with an array of sunshine comes at you like a bee sting. The guy who likes his Ford's gigantic size will appreciate how much I tried to make it easy for him to get back home to reflect on his taxes or misdemeanors in the air conditioning. I bet he only beats his door into the side of my truck 5-6 times depending. Anyway, I'll never notice. I went in through a dark magenta and glass door that had proper for the cops stenciled on it and went down the half flight to the office. With a swipe of my badge and a click of the lock, I stepped in to find my boss sitting at my desk. "What the hell are you doing, boss?" I asked. The chief of police with the Ford Explorer parked on the line was also there, and I had to wonder if he was admiring the revised parking job on the CCTV cameras. Everyone knows Old Blue. Boss said Red had to beat it unexpectedly, a doctor's appointment. Well, gosh, I hope it's something serious, I said. Should have called me in, boss. Work don't look right when it's you doing it. I thought about it, but I said to myself, Bates always comes in early, and he gave a shrug, and that finished the thought. You're right, 24 minutes today. Would have been here sooner if the chief had given the door ding, but you can't let the sun set on you in this town, I said. Now I got people for that, and they work for me all night now, the chief said. This guy always has a big smile, and if he asked me real nice, I'd probably just arrest myself for him. I'll pay you the OT for a full 30 minutes if you take over now, the boss says, standing up without an answer. Full 30, huh? Better approve my vacation. I'm booking a cruise. I flung my honey bunches of oats with strawberries onto the counter in the kitchen. I wanted time to get my ice and take a signal too and interrogate the detective on why the Lions ain't won the big one since Sputnik and listen to one more of Goldfinger. That's the one with Pussy Galore. Yeah, I'm eating breakfast cereal with half and half. I'm an animal. This time next week, it'll be scrambled eggs, whites, and coffee only. So lay off. There's an arrest warrant on my desk. Every day it ain't for me is a good day. But these days, most warrants aren't good for much. What's with the cage liner? I asked, chewing on the end of my cigar like it's food. Red was doing a 29. The lady who calls herself Operator 42 on the blower on account of she likes Hitchhiker's Guide said, It don't look half near done to me, I said. What did he do? Think on it real hard, and that's what sent him off to the hospital? I think it's his thyroid. He was tied up in a bunch today, she said. That mackerel snapper, I said. I swear. I never swear on a Wednesday. People always blame the thyroid for everything, I continued. It's the Donald J. Trump of the neck glands. She went on. He made a phone call to the Gray Bar Hotel to make sure that fine citizen has already checked in, sent him their own copy on the duplicator, and called it quits. What a guy. Does half the work all the way wrong, and he probably still gets a sucker at the doctor's office, I said. That's when it happened. All of it. Let's get a VIN out of Minnesota, the guy in patrol says. I'm locked out of the teletype. Thanks, Red. Chuck wants to skinny on this guy with the brass to drive a Hyundai in small town America. Not sure where he's from. Could be licensed here or some other state. Check around. Yeah, why ask where he's from when you could just have me check everywhere to make sure? The guy's probably from somewhere after all. Phone rings. A friend of the chief wants the top dog to come over to his house. Says he wants his brother's ticket dismissed. The officer didn't have no probable cause to pull his brother over. He says, Oh, I see you ain't his lawyer, are you? Yeah, sure you are, buddy. Another one. A woman don't feel so hot. She's got low potassium. Better send out the Tylenol taxi on that one. Collision in a private parking lot? No one injured? Yes, 911's the number for that, pal. Drive off from the gas station? We'll send out the bloodhounds and see if they sniff out some cash in the guy's wallet while they're at it. Over at the old folks' home, a car's been parked outside for 2 days with the headlights on. Ain't that a hell of a battery? I got to get me one of those. And now they're calling me, and they didn't even mean to call me. The phone rang, and the radio's buzzed in this place. I just don't know when to quit. I wouldn't have it any other way. Boy, I did a terrible job at that. I wasn't ready to read like 1930s hard-boiled detective style. If I did that again, it would probably be better the second time. Maybe I'll do that one for hard time, and I'll edit it to make sure that everything makes sense when you hear it. All right, you're tucked in. All right. If I didn't like him, I wouldn't request him. I love the detail. Yeah, that was just me going to work. But I put in a lot of sarcasm about Red. Half the work all the way wrong. Was he thinking on it too hard and that's what sent him off to the hospital? I wish I could write. You can write. You can. Just put pen to paper. You'll be surprised what comes out. I always chuck at your medical references, your little diagnoses. Is it because I'm not qualified to diagnose people and yet I do that all the time? I'm a doctor in every country but this one. Thanks to our ridiculous situation in which people call me for advice in all situations. All right. I would love to hang out with you more. But it's almost midnight where I am. It's really late. Really appreciate you hanging out with me. I appreciate all the fun comments, all the feedback. It is very cool. You guys are all just here because you like me. I'll never be able to understand that. I don't feel like I'm very likable. But you guys are here hanging out for 3 hours and 17 minutes and even giving me money to just be myself. So that's very cool. And for you, Salamander, I will re-record that. I'll even do little voices so you could tell the difference between the chief and my boss and operator 42. So that you can tell who's speaking. I'll record that for you because I don't think I ever did. And maybe I'll put in some saxophone music. Na, 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 na. You know, I don't know. I'll figure something out. Make it a little presentation. Thank you. Thank you. Should make a show just of you reading was good. I would listen to the stories. That's what you get when you pay for Hard Time. I have stories that I just read. That's bonus content on Hard Time. I know you don't have $4.99, Tyler. But someday when you do, they will all be there for you. You could get $4.99. You can buy 1 month of the show. Then you can cancel it after that goes through, and you will still have access to all those stories if you like that. Thank you, April. Very nice. I know that you're biased. Thank you too, John. Maybe you're relatable. Yes, keep showing pictures, making stories and films. God damn it, I am creative, aren't I? I could just do it all. Too bad that I don't do it for a living. You can't find it on Spotify. Hold on. I understand that it's a podunk podcast and hard to find. I get you. I will do something about that right now. Hopefully this will work. I don't know that it will. We're going to give it the old college try. So I'm going to send a link that you can click on, hopefully, that will take you there. I don't know how else I can make it more helpful-ish. Did that work? Probably not. You are not a cheap ass. No, you're not. You just don't have $4.99. And Joe Biden's economy, who can afford little dalliances like this? I'm not worth $4.99. Jake is. We all enjoy hanging out with you. I don't think that link worked. Tyler, if you're serious, if you just you want to know the show, send me a DM to @difficult-to-look-at-pictures on Instagram, assuming you have that. I also put up my email address earlier. If you email me, if you reach out to me through any means through which I can be reached, I will send you the link and we'll make it easy for you. I will meet you wherever you are so that you can find this content if you want it. You do not have to pay. You can just be a listener that just listens to the Monday show, and that's enough. You don't have to spend any money. That is okay. You can still get more me if you want it. That worked. Okay, good. David said it didn't. David, you're already a subscriber. Trudeau's worse than Biden. He may be. You know, you have to buy things in Canadian dollars. I don't know. Done. Following. Link worked perfectly. I've accomplished something. Thank you, Tyler, and thank you for being willing to listen to the show. Like I said, there's probably a good 65 episodes there for you to listen to, dating all the way back to over a year ago. Tons for you to catch up on. You can listen to all those. When you get done with that, if you want to, you can drop $4.99 if you save up that whole time, and then you'll have access to the bonus content. Like I said, you can finish that in a month, and then you can cancel it. I don't care. $4.99, you can listen to all of it and then turn it off. That's $4.99 that I'll have then that I didn't have before. But I'm going to go to bed because I still have to set up that show for tomorrow and do stuff. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. I will be back here you'll hear me on Hard Time tomorrow if you're a subscriber. Otherwise, I'll be back here for the morning show on Monday. And it'll be earlier than usual. So thank you guys for listening. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for everyone who's in the chats. Just wanted to say again, thank you to Tanner. Thank you to Felony. Thank you to April. Thank you to Falk Around to Find Out. Thank you to Lauren. Thank you to Michael. Thank you to David. Thank you to everybody who dropped money on little old me. Thank you for everyone who's here in the chats. Thank you to Tyler. Thank you again to April because she dropped the most amount of money. Salamander, thank you. Good night, Salamander. Detzlav, thank you for joining us. Chase, thank you for joining us. Michael Hendricks, thanks for dropping by. Good luck on your decision that you have to make. Who else was here? Drew was here at one point. Las Mujeres, thank you for dropping in. I appreciate you listening. Thank you to Carly and Beignet. Tyler, if I didn't already say that, Will Cray was here. Thank you so much for dropping by, Will Cray. Everybody that was here in the beginning, Chase, David, all of you guys that kept me going until everybody else showed up. I think I said Faulkner already. Yeah, I think I got everybody. Just want to make sure I acknowledge everybody because you were all here. I appreciate it. Thanks for everything. Thanks for making Comm Center possible. Thanks for keeping me going. Thanks for giving me a reason. Tanner, thank you. Patty, thank you for lurking in the background. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for making Comm Center a worthwhile thing for me to do. And we will see you soon. And I would keep hanging out, but I got to go. So you guys have a good night.